Many of us are balancing looking after our families with working from home. It's not always easy. Whatever changes you're facing, big or small, Irish Life Health can help you embrace them. Our Healthy Mind service includes 24-hour professional counselling support, and it's available on all our hospital plans. We know Irish Life. We are Irish Life Health.
So we're back here at the Irish Life Health National Championships. You've just seen the Heat 1 of the 400 metre for women. Sophie Becker winning that one in 55.23. Gráinne Moynihan from West Musgrave AC in second, 56.57. And Lauren Alley, an under 23 athlete from Galway City Harriers, 57.91. So it's first three in that, and then the two fastest qualifiers. So at the moment, you've got Daniela Jensen from Finn Valley AC with 58.61, and Ciara Barry from Crusaders with 61 seconds. The second heat, start list. We'll go for it. We've got George O'Donnell alongside me here, fresh from training this morning.
Substituted in for Carl Denny. He doesn't have the endurance the last two sessions in a row. So no. But so top three and two fastest qualifiers on time after that, as I said, Ronan. So two heats here in the women's, and from 2 out to 8 we'll have Kate Bergen of Moyne AC, Victoria Lightbody of Emo Rath AC, Sinead Tracy of Craughwell. In 5 then Rachel McCann of Suncroft AC, Amy Doherty Ratoath AC in 6, Emer Tracy of Clonliffe Harriers, the home track here in Santry, and Sophie Ritchie on the outside in lane 8 of Rathfarnham.
Now we've had a few issues there during the morning with clubs that aren't officially that club. St Albans was some club that we've never heard of, and the two athletes were from St Albans were in that club, and then Victoria Lightbody I think is from Belfast, and Emo Rath is in the Midlands somewhere.
Correct. She is wearing, I think, a City of Lisburn vest at the minute.
You go.
The red with the green trim.
Yes.
Would it be correct in saying that's City of Lisburn?
And I think so, and that was the issue we had around the other athlete from Emo Rath, who wasn't actually from Emo Rath, was wearing the same singlet, so maybe some issue there. But we will continue on regardless. Victoria Lightbody is in lane 3.
Indeed. So as you said there, Sophie Becker, Gráinne Moynihan and Lauren Nally, the automatic qualifiers there in that first race. So 58.68 is the first time qualifier there at the minute, and 61.08. So they're the two spots that are up for grabs for tomorrow's final.
Yeah, and I suppose looking down, Ger, at the kind of the likely winners in this one, Sophie Becker winning that first heat in 55. That's well within her wheelhouse. She's around 53.94 this year. Rachel McCann then is the second fastest, 55.42. Any other athletes you see they're going to give Sophie Becker a run for her money?
Actually, Nessa Mie ran 55.0 this week in Cork, but she's not entered in the event. She's in the 400 metre hurdles, which will be later on this evening. So I think if she had run that time before the entries closed, she might have tried to do a double, but yeah, Sophie Becker is over a second clear of the field, as you said, and that time that she ran the heats may be good enough to win the final, so we'll see how she comes back tomorrow. But back to this heat 2. We've got Kate Bergen, Victoria Lightbody, Sinead Tracy, Rachel McCann, Amy Doherty, Emer Tracy and Sophie Ritchie. So Rachel McCann in lane 5, is not of Suncroft AC, as it says here either, but she will be the favourite for this heat.
Yes. Along the blonde athlete there in lane 5, is it? Rachel McCann.
Rachel McCann is the tall athlete in the yellow vest there in lane 5. So she's gone out quite conservatively there. Sinead Tracy of Crowell is pushing up on her and gone past her at this stage. So Rachel McCann is just taking it easy for the minute, maybe just keeping her powder dry for tomorrow. But certainly at the minute, Tracy is pushing out hard down that back straight, and they will have a big tailwind down that back straight. If you can see the flags flying, you probably can't on the camera with the zoomed in shot. But Tracy of Crowell is going well, and now McCann is starting to make a bit of a move up here with 200 metres to go. She knows she only has to finish in the top 3, and she's starting to lengthen that stride a little bit and doing a bit of work around the bend. They'll be hitting a quite strong headwind here as they come around into the home straight. So just the top 3 to go through by right. Lightbody there in lane 3 is making a move at the minute as well. But Tracy's going really well here. She could be having a stormer of a run. She's going to secure her place in the final if she can hold on. Lightbody is pushing up for 3rd, but it is McCann that's coming through nicely now in that strong position in lane 5. She's going to secure herself a decent lane for tomorrow as the winner of the second heat, and the clock is 57.05. Tracy and Lightbody will join her for sure. And I think there Amy Doherty of Ratoath will probably have done enough to secure her place as a time qualifier on it.
Yeah, it looked like in around 59 seconds there for Amy Doherty, but very impressive from Rachel McCann. Just very much a relaxed run from her there. And Sinead Tracy, as you said, getting up to get into that final for Crawwell AC. So fantastic performance there. So we'll see now how those results pan out. But Becker versus McCann looks like in the final. Definitely
a great run there from Sinead Tracy. She really took the bull by the horns in the first 2 or 250, and I suppose McCann was able to just watch her from an outside lane when she went past her after the first 70 or 80 metres. But I suppose she knew she was safely going to qualify if she didn't have any major mishap anyway. So, but sometimes it is nice to get a hard run out in the heats when you do have a full 24 hours to recover. So Rachel McCann taking that second heat should be gunning for Sophie Becker tomorrow. They'll be in the middle 2 lanes with the other top 3s filling out, and then lane 1 and 8 taken by the 2 time qualifiers. So it's going to be an interesting one.
You've Gráinne Moynihan there as well, who ran 56, 57, who's kind of back from a couple of years of injury, and will be a danger in the final as well, particularly for the medals. But I don't think she'll be near Sophie Becker, but certainly could be in the mix there for some of the minor medals.
Definitely, yeah. Gráinne Moynihan's having a good return to form. We've seen her kind of make some brief appearances around the national seniors in the last couple of years, battled with injuries for a long time as well, and came out and I think got a silver medal or a bronze here last year, the year before in the nationals, with some really good running in the 54s. So if she's just keeping her powder dry till tomorrow as well. You never know what people are doing. I'm sure you talked about it earlier. This season is one of the unknowns, but we don't want to be dragging on with that kind of chat too much. But it's going to be kind of all to play for here tomorrow, and you don't know who's been training well and not racing, and vice versa. So we're obviously missing a few of the big names as well. Charlene Mosley did a few races early in the year, but seems to have canned her season early. Hopefully no injuries or anything there. And Phil Healy is opting for the short sprints this weekend, so it's there for the taking for the national indoor champion Sophie Becker, and she's going to have her work cut out with the likes of McCann and Moynihan up against her.
Certainly, and we didn't really mention it too much earlier on, but it's quite the operation here in Morton Stadium for all this to take place, and it's really been well done here by Athletics Ireland, which is great to see, and great to see that we're able to continue the longest running national championships in the world.
Correct, yeah, the 148th iteration of the championships here today and tomorrow and next weekend, of course. I was pointed out though that there used to be the 2 championships that used to go ahead from the 2 different organisations, so perhaps we could add a few more onto that. Maybe 148 years, but maybe 170 championships or something like that. Sure, listen, anything we could do to pad the numbers up there a bit. But yeah, it's a fairly swift and strict operation here, and the fact that it's actually going ahead is a huge credit to, I suppose, the association and the likes of the competition committee, which is made up of volunteers, and then you've got all the officials here who have agreed to apply or comply with all the guidelines. I know our starter here has flown in 2 weeks early to make sure she was in the country on time, and things like that. The people are going above and beyond to act as volunteers to give the athletes a chance to win that national title and take home those PVs and medals.
Exactly, and it's great to see, some live athletics. We've been shorn of live sport in the last one. It's good to be at the stadium here, as quiet as it is.
Yeah, correct. We are definitely the lucky ones, when the coaches can't even be here. We really are in a privileged position here to be able to watch the live athletics in person. But thanks to the lads at Entry, I suppose they're giving us a great opportunity for everyone to watch every minute of these championships on the YouTube stream throughout this weekend and next.
Absolutely, and there was rumours of coach is hiring cherry pickers. Is that correct?
I won't name any names, but I'm sure all logistical challenges were looked at and overcome and denied heavily.
There was planning permission for a tree house there in one of the trees here in Santry Woods.
The old the oak tree there is looking kind of barren. I think some of the branches were trimmed off in prep for that, but I think Fingal County Council stepped in and said no. But there's a good view from one of those houses across the road there. That big grey house to the right hand side of your screen. If those blinds were pulled up, I'm sure you could charge €50 an hour to get a few coaches with the binoculars in there, get the finish line view. But unfortunately not.
So up next after this, today in this session you're going to see the men's long jump, men's 400 meters, and we're also going to see the women's junior 5k and women's 5k. So plenty more to look forward to. The likes of Chris O'Donnell in the 400 meters. We got Michelle Finn in the women's 5k. And then the long jump battle between Shane Howard and Adam McMullen. Cullen Burke did not return from America, I believe. He's in
Louisiana, ULM over there in college, and he's had a good season by all accounts. I think he jumped 7:48, which is
7:46, I believe.
7:46, which is just shy of his PB of 7:52. So he's certainly in the shape of his life, despite all the challenges that are faced. So it's a pity he couldn't make it back for this, because he would certainly been a contender for the gold medal. But the likes of Shane Howard and Keith Marks, Adam McMullen, and there's many others who've well cleared 7 metres either this year or last will be duking it out there. They're going to have the luxury of that tailwind down the back straight to jump into that far pit at the 200 metre mark, which is, I suppose, one benefit of being a jumper here in Santry, that there's 2 runways and 2 pits, so they can take their pick once the conditions are playing ball in one direction.
Yeah, I believe Sarah Buggy was saying earlier on there was around 4 metres, a couple of the wind readings they were getting back, so it's certainly breezy out there. So we did have Storm Ellen recently.
Correct.
And,
yes.
A lot of homes down in West Cork still without power.
Your area hugely affected.
Yeah, always affected. But the price to pay to live in the
when
Irish
area. When you're going to live in paradise, I suppose there's going to be some sharks in the water.
Exactly. Yeah. A few issues you got to deal with.
Hawaii doesn't have it all their own way either.
No, volcanoes.
But I know with that women's long jump, Sarah Buggy's 6:09, which would be her second best ever, behind her Belfast performance 2 weeks ago. That was legal, so I think that was a plus 1.6. So it's the look at the draw when the wind gauge is clicked and when the wind gusts, but there was a few 3.8s and stuff on the results. And you can see all those results on live.athleticsIreland.ie as you can with these heats that are kicking off here. So we've had the 2 women's 400 metre heats. If you're just joined us, the top 3 and 2 fastest times after that, they should be live on that now. Ronan's just going to do a bit of research for me here and tell me who the lucky 2 that got in were.
Exactly.
But we'll have the men's heats up next. It's going to be 5 heats in that, and like you said, Chris O'Donnell is the favourite in that with a PB of 46.16 I think this year. I'm sure you have it written down in your notebook there, Ronan.
But who are you asking me about?
Chris O'Donnell,
46.16, outrageous.
On the money.
Ludwig second, 48.38.
I don't think Kieran Ludwig is entered here anyway.
Count van Ludwig, I think. His proper title. Okay. Yeah, Sophie Becker, Gráinne Moynihan and Laura Nelly, the automatic qualifiers from Heat 1. Daniel Janssen then getting in with 58.68, which means you were correct with Amy Doherty. It was 60 seconds for her, getting in that small queue. Rachel McCann, Sinead Tracy and Victoria Lightbody all qualifying automatically. So Amy Doherty getting in, giving herself a good, almost a second of time to spare. So that's your final tomorrow. And
happy days.
Lane draw appears to have already been done. Sophie Becker in 4, McCann in 5 and Gráinne Moynihan in 6. They're the 3 likely medalists in that one.
Just don't bank on those lane draws being exact for tomorrow, in case you're
there you go.
In case you're off to the bookies and putting money down in lane 7 without putting anyone's name on the
But I've announced it.
Ballot sheet.
I've announced it now, so now the pressure is on Athletics Ireland to conform to my announcement.
Yeah, do what Dougie does.
do what Dougie does.
Don't do what Donny Duggan does. Anyway, 5 heats of the men's. As I said, Andrew Mellon will probably be the second favourite, just by the basis that he's raced this year. But Cathal Crosby, I think, is faster on time, and he is the national indoor champion. So he is here for his season opener. So he's the unknown entity for these heats, and it will be the top 1 only in each heat. So the first 5 winners will go through, and then 3 times after that. So it's going to take, as it usually does, something sub 50. But this year in particular, I think around a 49 low should get them into the final, whereas I know yourself, Ron, in the last few years that the men's 400 has been really deep in terms of we've had 7 or 8 heats and it's only been the winner to go through, or else the fastest times overall. So it took a 48 certainly in those days, but today it's going to be, I'd say, a sub 49.5 and you'll be safe into at least lane 1 or 8.
Yeah, it looks a little bit lighter. I mean, likes of Jamie Mitchell there, 48.84. Jamie Pender, 49.05. They'll all be looking to kind of sneak in there. I saw Killian Green on the early list, but I don't see his name making it into these heats here.
No Killian Green, no Brandon Ari either. Just a couple of niggles and issues through lockdown that didn't allow them to make it this far, and I'm sure there's another 100 names we could add to that list. And of course, it's when things were so up in the air with the season in general, it's hard to know who was going to do what. So people just keeping themselves in one piece and getting ready for next year, which will hopefully be somewhat of a normal season for the track and field athletes out there.
Certainly, and we're still waiting on this. That's going to be a 2:45. You're looking at that scheduled heat for the 400 meter men. So we're looking really at the long jump. There's the most likely a bit of action we're going to see next.
Yeah, that long jump is due to kick off now, isn't it? I think 2:15.
2 minutes ago.
Hopefully we'll see it get underway pretty soon, and you can start back where you left off earlier on, Ronan, with that expert analysis of the women's long jump.
That was a great competition. I know they said you were being somewhat facetious there with that banter you're having off me. Yeah, we didn't really have a clue what was going on, but we did enjoy it.
That's
very,
the main
very
thing.
tight competition. Look back at the results. Lots of action there, particularly in the final rounds.
Yeah, I was looking at the results after, I think it was round 3 even, and there was 8 girls or women over 550 even, which is great depth for a women's long jump competition here at the national championships. So it might have even been better than that by the end. I know there was certainly 5 or 6 of them over 580, so it's serious depth. And the young girls like Ruby Mie and Sophie Meredith coming through there nicely and picking up medals. It's always good to see. And Sarah McCarthy getting back into really good form this year as well. I think the lockdown was a big help to her because she was battling some injuries in the last year or two. So just having that bit of downtime to really, when you don't have any races planned, you can really focus on little issues that you're working on and get strong in areas where you were struggling before.
Absolutely, and it was, as I said, a fantastic competition. We had a great men's long jump competition coming up as well, and hopefully we'll see a series like Sarah McCarthy's. Absolutely superb jumping, no fouls in every round. She got better until the end, which was equal to her best.
It is.
We got 2 groups, and we're looking at, I presume, I'm thinking top 8. I'm assuming out of those 2, nothing official up here yet. Group 1 is Dylan Chambers from Bandon AC, Ben Little from Fodder Murphy AC, John Nulty from Annalee, Tristan Chambers, Dylan's brother, I believe, twin brother, from Bandon AC, Sam Griffin from Killarney Valley, and that is Dylan Chambers there on the runway, Craig Duffy from Celtic DCH, and Adam Dooley from Templemore, and Raphael McCaffrey from Ratoath. So this is Dylan Chambers from Bandon AC.
He runs through that one. Yeah, so there was 29 athletes entered, I think, for this men's long jump. So I know Adam McMullen was querying whether it could go ahead in the usual format with that amount of athletes, because it would take, I think he said it was something similar indoors, and it was around 40 minutes between jumps, which isn't anyway ideal for the athletes after doing a warm-up of around an hour to have to sit for 40 minutes after one jump. So they have obviously broken it up into 2 qualification groups here, which is good, and we'll see what way. I think the second group is scheduled to kick off 5 minutes after, it says, but maybe that has been changed in terms of times to give them a little bit of a break in between and then swap, or else they're using both runways, which is also an option here in Morton Stadium. But certainly they've done what they could to accommodate the athletes and give them optimal conditions for competing.
Certainly, and an interesting one here on a personal note from my club. 4 athletes, 2 in each group in the long jump.
From Bandon AC?
Yeah.
Is that all down to you, do you think?
That's certainly an inspiration.
Yeah. It would have to have it has something to do with you. You're connected there somehow. 6 degrees of separation.
I raked the sand before.
Back on the runway there is
that is Ben Little from Fodder Murphy AC.
He didn't quite get what he wanted out of that one anyhow, but he does get the white flag.
No.
And it is being measured, but he just over-rotated on the board, as Phelim Kelly likes to say, for every jump that doesn't quite go well.
I think someone under-rotated earlier on, if he can even do that.
Possibly so. Backflip in.
Ben Little, yeah, from Fodder Murphy AC, the club of Andy Ledwood, I believe, famously.
Happy enough.
Ben, yeah. 3rd in the NCAA cross-country.
Also, considering the long jump, anyone else you want to think of that may be from Fodder Murphy's AC?
Kieran McDonough?
maybe. Our national long jump record holder, 8:07. And the championship best performer as well with 8:04. So a real class act. And of course, his guide Stephen Gaffney in the sprint events now is coached by Stuart Hogg. But Kieran McDonough was the man guiding him along the way for the last few years, and still supervises most of his sessions and keeps him in one piece. So he's still heavily involved in the scene.
He also works out of Foz GA Club, which weirdly in Dublin they refer to it as Fogs, even though it's spelled Faugh. S, obviously, yeah.
Yes.
Fogs.
They call it Fogs.
They call it
themselves.
Fogs, yeah.
Right, fair enough.
Ridiculous.
That's where he's based anyway, as a
Yeah.
physical therapist if you're in need. But back
Might get
to the
lost
long
if you're
jump.
looking for Foz, though, you know.
Back on the-
John Nulty, that from NLE AC there. Just rotated, I'd say, pretty much optimally.
See, Dylan Chambers has been given 2:06 for his first jump,
Yeah, look.
and Ben Little 4:68. So those the two leading marks so far.
Yeah, early leader Ben Little from Farnham Murphy AC 468.
It's,
Dylan Chambers in second with 206.
just the
long
wind
jump, not high jump.
the wind readings on those 5.6 and 3.7. So that obviously has a huge impact on these long jumpers when they're getting their marks and getting their run-ups right. I know as see
That is Tristan
That's it.
Chambers, Dylan's brother, hoping
Dylan.
to beat the 206 mark set by his brother. As I said, it is an issue of the wind here. We
Yeah.
are joking, but it is very, very difficult to get your mark right, particularly this first jump, as the wind is gusting and pushing you farther than you would like on each stride, and then that messes up your mark then at the end.
I know
resulting in
with
poor jumps.
Sarah Buggy for a triple jump run up anyway always has to adjust from whatever run up she uses in training. She'll add on maybe 2 feet immediately to the run up she uses in competition, just because of adrenaline and everything else. Her run up always has to be that little bit longer, and she's obviously be fresher when it comes to big competitions. So training through and trying to get long jump marks and triple jump marks can be a bit of an issue for some athletes. Now some are, I'm sure, a bit more attuned to it and find it a little bit easier for themselves to get more consistent. But when a wind is picking up and blowing nearly 6 meters per second down your back, it's going to be a different one.
400 meter sprint. I now have heat one, and I can call that out now. So in lane 3 we have Keely Hogan, number 636. Please check that you're
We'll just keep an eye on this long jump as the tannoy announces the heat 1 of the men's long jump to give them our ideas. But back on the long jump runway here is Tristan Chambers of Bandon, and you can see a big stutter there again from Tristan, trying to make sure he got onto that left foot for the takeoff. So I'm sure he was well behind the board there, and obviously lost a lot of his speed momentum on the way in.
Still, though, if he goes over 6:52 from John Nulty, we can see Tristan Chambers perhaps in the lead here. That's 6:52 from John Nulty from Manly AC is the early leader in this one. I said havoc here with the wind and people's marks, so unlikely to see the athletes getting this right until later in the competition. 400 meter men's getting called into the call room there, so we should see them out on track very, very shortly.
Where's our call room here today, Ronan? Or have you spotted
I
it
think
yet?
the call room is in the same position it always is.
Indoors?
Yeah, but I think they loop through the building and out the other side, as
Excellent.
would normally be the case.
It's great that the athletes can actually use the track here for their warm-up strides and drills as well, because obviously that was a bit of a contentious issue to see where would we be able to get the athletes warmed up with the restrictions and everything else. But they kind of have the freedom of the track once there's no races on, which is good. They're not confined to the grassy banks or the car park out the side.
Grassy knolls.
Indeed.
Tristan Chambers there, 5:41. So John McNulty still in the lead from Manly AC with 6:52. So exciting 400 meter men's coming up very, very shortly. I said Christopher O'Donnell 46:16, by far and away the fastest this year.
Yeah,
in
he
Ireland.
goes in Heat 1 as well. I just call out the start list for Heat 1. Chris, of course, is still at 123 this year as well, but he'll be out of that age category next year. Keely Hogan of Barrow Harriers AC is in lane 3. Fionn Carroll of Clonliffe Harriers is in 4. Chris O'Donnell in 5 from North Sligo AC. Jed Walsh of Rotholt goes in lane 6. Ben Hughes of Dunboyne AC in 7. And Hugo McGee in 8 of Crusaders on the outside. So the Under-23 Championships is a foul there in the long jump. The Under-23 Championships is intertwined with the seniors here, so whoever is the best performer who is actually in the Under-23 category will get that gold medal as well, and silver and bronze as it goes on.
Yes.
But those championships are happening concurrently here. Of course, the under 23 categories in all the events, distances and throws, the implements, hurdles, etc., are all at the same height, so it fits in quite nicely. It'd be a different story if it was under 20s, but it slots in fairly well.
Yeah, we have had issues in the past in cross country with athletes winning the under 23s by being a senior medalist and then not receiving their medal for the under 23s. So that is not going to happen today. You will get, if you win the senior race, you will receive both medals as an under 23.
Happy days. Another run through there in the long jump. There was a foul previous to that.
Yeah, so that was.
We've just lost our monitor here.
Yeah.
The wind is really taking charge of this stadium here today as the entry lads come out and readjust. Screen is intact. It has survived the fall, but it's still balancing precariously on a camera box here at the minute. So like we're saying, live.alexharland.ie, you can see all the results for that men's long jump as they happen. So you'll get them up on the screen probably 90 seconds after the jump is measured. But and the same for the women's or the men's 400 meters heats, which will be taking place in around 10 minutes or so. They'll be starting or 15 minutes. It looks like Raf of Rathot there on the long jump runway. He's done a couple of competitions here already this year. There was a field events festival organised here by Dave Sweeney and Shane Aston as well, which is brilliant. Pretty much had the national fields assembled for that, so gave them a good chance to run out.
That's Raphael McCaffrey there running through on that one. So the leader from this group is
I almost called him Raf Cataro, who is of course a Sligo Rovers legend.
Yes,
which he is Raf McCaffrey. No relation.
I doubt it. But certainly that group looks like we're seeing John Nulty, 6:52, the best in that group so far.
Yeah, we don't have the qualification criteria, but it will be, I presume, top 8 will go through for the further 3 jumps.
I also get the feeling that these are seeded groups, as McMullen, Howard, Marks, Benson are all in that second group.
Yeah. Looks about right. Ben Fisher in there as well, and Joy Benson, better known as a triple jumper. So it's a fairly hot field there, and we will see how the qualifications go. They might even just be going 2 groups and going off the best jumps.
Yes, yeah, so straight final, yeah. Said, and then we also have a junior women's 5K coming your way as well later on there at 25 past 4. So plenty of action here today in session 2 of the National Championships.
Session 2 of 9.
When you say it like that.
You started to wilt there, Ron. Only 3 today. Unfortunately. We'd love more.
I'd love more, yeah. Nothing but athletics. It's kind of like watching a marathon of movies or something, you know, like I'm going to watch all the Star Wars in one.
Yeah, full box set in. Back to that field events festival that I was talking about, the Shane Aston, and it was organised with Dave Sweeney. Basically they assembled the national final fields in each field event and got them in here, and you know, obviously restricted on numbers and everything else, so they only had very few officials, and there was a handful of coaches maybe let in, but the field events were out in the the big throwers were out in the big throw arena, which is outside the stadium here, just on the same grounds but outside the actual track area. They had, of course, high jump, long jump, triple jump, so it was great to see basically everyone that's here today and will be here over the next 2 weekends got a chance to compete, and the weather was absolutely glorious. It was for about 10 days of the year the wind actually blows down the home straight here, so if there was a sprint meet on it would have been ideal as well, but the long jumpers and triple jumps certainly got a nice favourable winds. They were just below 2 metres and there was some good performances all around.
Yeah, and hopefully those athletes will have got a little bit of practice in with that extra competition in the programme, and will be able to show their expertise in the long jump and other jumps and throws. We've already seen a national youths record from Nicola Tuttle, the Bandon IC athlete, 16 years of age, winning a national senior title, which is frankly ridiculous. And hopefully we'll see some other athletes performing to such a high standard now over the course of these 2 weekends.
As her coach, what was your message to her before that competition, Ron?
I won't even rise to that. Her coach is Liz Coomey. coach to Shane Howard and other Bandit NC athletes over the years. And
there's Ben Little back on the long jump runway there from Father Murphy's. He is getting measured this time around. He's
club
checking
of
the board.
Kieran McDonough, national
really?
record holder at 8:07. Adam McMullen 7:99. Correct. Going in that second group.
Indoors, yeah. So just agonisingly close to that glorious 8 metre mark, but hopefully he'll get back there again next year, if not today, after that Achilles rupture which ruled him out for a long time, and obviously serious work required to get back from that, and he got back in style.
Yeah, here's John Nulty, the top athlete in this group so far at 6:52. And a bit of a struggle there on that one. That wind, as I said, playing serious havoc with this long jump. Ben Little's gone to second place in that group. 6:14 with a 5 metre wind behind him. I almost feel like if you had some sort of wing type structure behind you, your singlet.
Baggy vest
Even.
Baggy shorts. Baggy trousers.
And just jump up in the air and be thrown into the pit.
Take flight. The old wingsuits that you see them jumping off the cliffs with. Pop one of those lads on, you're laughing. The opposite of aerodynamic is what you want here today.
Yeah.
Aero undynamic.
Undynamic. Here's Tristan Chambers. He's jumped 5:41. Going for his second jump here. A tall, long striding athlete. I said a lot of stutter coming up to that towards that board. Hoping to beat that 5:41 from the first round. Ben Little's gone up to 6:14 from Father Murphy, and Dylan Chambers, another issue there with his run up going down to 1:57, which is still not the shortest in the competition so far. That's Raphael McCaffrey, who's gone 1:54.
It's impressive.
So a couple of run throughs there in this. As I said, the wind is causing quite the issue. I said we'll hopefully see Group 2 as well stepping up shortly. And that one, that's got Adam McMullen, Keith Marks, Shane Howard, Jai Benson, and many more in that second group. And that was a 4:75 from John Nulty from Annalee.
No legal wins yet in that competition, so anyone that does manage to pop out a PB won't quite get it measured as that, or it certainly won't count for any qualification marks, but there's a white flag there.
Yeah, for Sam Griffin. 5:62 in the first round.
Killarney Valley AC. His clubmate Jordan Lee will be going on the high jump later on today.
Yeah, looking forward to that. A lot of good action to come in the later sessions as well.
Yeah, we'll have world under 20 silver medalist Summer Leckie going on that high jump. David Cusson also going on the men's PB this year at that Field Events Festival here of 2:16. He jumped 2:15 earlier in the summer as well. So he's
what was the name
PB
of said festival?
It was the Athletics Ireland Field Events Festival, or else it was the Shane and Dave show. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, to be honest, it's not very imaginative, is it?
No.
You know? Field Fest, Throw Fest.
See, you can't. It was supposed to be Throws Fest.
Yeah.
And the jumpers got up in arms. You know.
I believe there used to be a thing in Ireland called the Hammerama.
Oh dear. I like the sound of that.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah. Jump off, Throw Fest, and jump off.
Amanda O'Farrell agrees. It says someone tell the long jumpers windy and move their marks back.
Well, look.
If only they knew.
Yeah, if only they figured this one out. There's something wrong here.
Another white flag there anyway. That's Craig Duffy of
no surrender.
Celtic DCH.
From Craig Duffy. He failed in the first round, but he's come out and managed to get him through into the white flag zone here.
400 metres, that's Billy Roy, Colin Crosby, Jack Manning, Ryan Henry, Owen Scully, Jimmy
and
three.
I said Tristan Chambers then following up with a 5:19 in that second round jump. Sam Griffin, we had a failure for Sam Griffin here. This is Adam Dooley from Templemore AC. He's under 23 athlete, stepping up here. He's jumped 4:21 in that first round. Hoping to improve on that.
Just having a look through some of the YouTube comments here, Ronan, that the ones that we can legally read out on air. But just Greg Dunster has given a shout out to the Chamber twins there as well for the long jump.
Nice one, yeah. Two good lads, two tall units from Bandon. I think they've done a bit of 400 metres as well, 200 metres. So good athletes, all round athletes.
Good to see them tuning in to support their comrades here. And another good jump that looks like from Adam Dooley.
Yep.
Templemore AC, and he gets the white flag, and that'll certainly be better than his 4:21, I think, from the previous round.
As I said, we can't iterate enough how windy it is here. There's lots of things falling over, like our monitor, and lots and lots of things happening here in terms of the wind. So you can see that it's really causing trouble for the distance runners earlier on as well, trying to run up the home straight. So definitely, a factor today, particularly the long jump.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for those 400-meter athletes as well, especially when there's 5 heats in the men's 400s. The conditions between heat 1 and heat 5 could be quite different. So like if there could be a half an hour, 40 minutes between those two races, so the wind could have dropped from that +4 we were seeing at the start of that long jump down to a +2. And certainly when you come into the home straight after running for 35 seconds already, it's going to be a big factor for you when trying to get those legs moving into it.
Yeah, even if you look at the wind speeds there in the long jump, it's gone from we had a 2.7 meter wind. Dylan Chambers had a 2.7 and a 5.6 for his wind. So
how do you get your marks for that?
Exactly, yeah.
I think that was a run through there from Ralph McCaffrey.
Yeah, no improvement on his 154 from the first round.
Don't think he'd be happy if that remains his mark for the competition.
A part of me hopes
I think
we'll get to the end and that'll be
Ralph
it.
is a 670 jumper, maybe even 680 at his best, so slightly down on that at the minute.
Yeah, no. $5.94 from Adam Dooley from Templemore AC as well. Craig Duffy as well from Celtic DCH getting that 6:04 second round jump. So it's actually getting pretty exciting here. John Nulty 6:52, Ben Little, and then Craig Duffy and Adam Dooley. They're the 4 leading men here at the stage. Raf McCaff is still at 1:54.
I'd imagine the second group will be just slotting straight in after this first group finishes.
You would. Dylan Chambers now hoping to improve himself, and unfortunately the wind has played a lot of havoc with Dylan's day, and that will not be an improvement on his jump so far. So disappointing for Dylan, young man coming all the way up from Bandon. Probably just going to go IKEA now, make the day of it.
Probably maybe a trip to the Decathlon as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like while you're up, like
get on Costa and Northwood and hit the road.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
That's right. Really, everyone's like, "Oh, do I have to go to the national championships?" Like a few lamps to buy there.
Up for the day, as they say. You see, Chris O'Donnell is testing his spikes on the track out for heat 1 of the men's 400 meters. Second of our track events in session 2 here. Will be followed by those 2 5,000 meter women's races, the juniors and the seniors. And back on the long jump runway, I think that is Ben Little, Father Murphy. He gets the white flag. It will be measured. 6:14 his best from that second round with a 5 meters per second wind.
Wow.
The athlete that can get it right today will fly.
Yeah, I'm also enjoying, which I didn't cop earlier on during the women's long jump, the chairs.
I just spotted them as well. Yeah, it's a very well laid out chill out area for the athletes in between their jumps.
It's kind of a bit X Factory, you know, like the kind of hot seats.
The voice.
You're gone.
You're going to turn around to the stand when they win.
And they do the old gladiator thumbs up, thumbs down type scenario. He's gone. You're not in the top 6. You're out.
Did they have the referee over there saying, McCaffrey, you will go on my first whistle. McMullen, you will go on my second whistle. Those whistles would be about 90 minutes apart. That's the only problem. Tristan Chambers, or Sam Griffin rather, of Killarney Valley, or John Nulty, that is.
John Nulty, early leader from Manly.
So 6:52 in that first round. He's the leader of this group so far. 6:14, Ben Little sitting in the second spot. Craig Duffy, 6:04 in third. We see the men's 400 meter athletes for heat 1 getting their blocks ready to start their national championships. So heats today, final tomorrow. 5 heats, just the winner of each race, and then 3 will go through on times after that.
Yeah, we see Tristan Chambers there now on the line, on the runway there in the back straight, hoping to improve on his jump from earlier. His brother has a few issues with the wind there and the runway. And he's a similar jump to his last couple of efforts.
Yeah, you can see a stutter there as well. I don't think he even made a mark on the board, so gave himself 30 centimetres away already there.
Yeah, certainly you can see like he's had 5.4 wind, 3.5 wind. It's Absolute lunacy here. We've got nearly a 3.5 meter per second difference between the highest and lowest so far. Sam Griffin now 562. He jumped in the first round. He's coming up next from Killarney Valley AC. Craig Duffy, Adam Dooley, and Raf McCaff, who rather outrageously jumped 154 again in the second round.
That's good consistency there.
That was Sam Griffin. Good jump, Ger, to the
Yeah,
best of your
looks
knowledge.
solid, yeah. Gets the white flag anyway, which is the main thing here with these conditions.
Yeah, live to fight another day. So this is the third round jump from a lot of these lads. So we're looking at Ben Little, by the way, backed it up with a 6 meter there as well in his third round jump. These boys looking to survive and get into that last part of the long jump competition.
Jumps are coming thick and fast as well, so it's good. They're flying through this first qualification group.
No messing.
But over at the 400 meters, Heat 1 have been told to relax for a few minutes, I think. Just 5 athletes in Heat 1. We'll give you the full rundown shortly, but we'll just see if this long jump goes ahead.
Yeah, just coming off the track there now. Yeah, you're saying this 5. I can't. I'm poorly positioned here.
You are. Shimmy.
Tell me how the book ends, Ger. So on the runway there now, you've got Craig Duffy, 604 in round 2. That's his third round jump. He should possibly survive, depending on what we're looking like in group 2. But certainly in the mix there. John Nulty still though, 652. Maybe be the only survivor from group 1. Here's Adam Dooley now on the runway from Templemore AC, the green of Tipperary.
Dermot McGranahan is tuning into the live stream here. He's under an alias on the YouTube, saying the second best RDO is doing a good job on commentary.
Well,
I presume the first must be Paul McKee.
Paul McKee is a great.
But his name is 4668 Gunner. Obviously, he's an Arsenal fan, and I presume 4668 is Dermot's 400 meter PB, obviously from back in the day.
Oh, I thought it might have been,
year of birth.
Or yeah, well, I was going to say that, but then I realised that was ridiculous, and I was going to go with PIN code for his ATM card.
Oh, I'd imagine so. That's his password. He's accidentally put his password into the username field. But there's a foul on the long jump runway there again.
That was Adam Dooley from Templemore AC. 594 was his best. I think we're all pretty much gunning for Raf McCaff here.
Another 154.
If you can get into that 2
3
meter
in a row,
barrier,
he'll surely give him a medal if he can.
it's going to be a big moment here. An athlete who is far superior than these jumps. But the wind is playing absolute havoc here. And his starting style is quite... Maybe he needs to be a bit taller when he's running.
I'm sure he'll get into it.
I don't know. He's gone very Lee Halfpenny there with his approach.
He's striding out nicely there. Another chop. And he's done the same again, unfortunately.
Yeah. It should be an improvement, though, I suspect.
Never know.
But you can see that you can see even 20 meters out, he's going to struggle here. He's got an issue there with where the mark is. So
yeah,
absolute havoc today this wind is causing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate now, especially when there's no coaches in the stadium. That's the main issue there, that no adjustments can be properly made for the athletes, because they'd normally have that word in their ear from the stand to give them that bit of advice and tell them forward, backwards, sideways, whichever way they need to go with it.
Exactly. Yeah, you can see it's also a pretty good grounding here for some athletes. Maybe if they're away at a competition and their coach can't be there, how to make these adjustments for yourself.
Absolutely.
At the top end, you're unlikely to have a coach next to you all the time.
Yeah.
Men's 400 meters.
Yeah, Heat 1, we've got Keelan Hogan here of Barrow Harriers AC. He goes in lane 3. Fionn Carroll of Clonliffe Harriers is in 4. Chris O'Donnell, the overwhelming favourite here, of North Sligo AC, goes in 5. Jed Walsh for Tote AC goes in 6. In 7 is Ben Hughes of Dunboyne AC, and right on the outside then is Hugo McGee, Crusaders AC. So he's going to have his work to do here. He's going to have Chris O'Donnell coming up past him very quickly, but if he can just run his own race, as all these 6 men will, only the winner will go through automatically, and then it is 3 fastest times thereafter. So O'Donnell goes in 5. He's around that 46.16 PB this year. He's still an under 23 athlete, the North Sligo man, and he is away and looking easier already. So he's just going to have to do enough to qualify here, get himself a good time, and he'll get a good preferred lane for tomorrow. And after 100 metres, he's closing the gap there on Jed Walsh, Ratote AC, who's pushing out quite hard in this first 200. Now that wind is strongly on their back, so it can be a bit of a false impression of what is actually going on in the race, because once it comes around to the 300 mark, the struggle is going to really begin once that headwind hits. Hopefully this stand might block some of it, but O'Donnell is certainly looking comfortable here at the minute as he goes through the 300 metre mark in around 35 seconds. So it'll be a sub 50 clock, and maybe in the 48s. He'll probably just shut it down now, as he only needs to do enough to get that first spot. But Jed Walsh is holding on well there, and there's a big push from Fionn Carroll of Clonif Harriers to get up for that second spot. So it's all important to be in as high up the positions as possible to try and sneak into those time qualifier slots. But 49.47 is what's on the clock. Yeah. So that is the winner of Heat 1. And as I was saying, anything around that time in the time qualifier slots should be good enough to go through. But with the conditions there today, maybe something slower will be good enough.
Yeah, you'd have a look at these fields here, and you'd be thinking you're looking at maybe one from the vast majority of them, and then there's not. It's not a heat. They're not fully stacked heats, is what I'm trying to say to you. That there's quite a few athletes here in each of them. The last one is actually quite stacked, and actually Raphael McCaffrey is in Heat 5, so hopefully he gets an improvement on his performances today. But yeah, you'd imagine under 50 seconds would put you in a serious shout today with this billowing wind here we're getting, particularly up the home straight. Yeah. But he looked very, very comfortable even in those conditions.
He did. You can see on that wide shot the teardrop flags there in the infield are ready to hit the deck almost, with the winds gusting here. As we are joined in the stands by the women's 5,000 metre athletes. They're all dotted around, keeping themselves 3 or 4 seats to spare around them before they get ready for their race. It's just coming up after these 400 metres. So there's big entries in a lot of those distance races around, and obviously with the road race season pretty much being canned, athletes are desperate for any race that they can get.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of athletes who may not have ran a whole lot of track races, or certainly wouldn't have ran the national championships, but are ripping it up on the road scene. They're now hopping onto the track, which even though we're discussing this today, a 5k on the road is, I wouldn't say it's enjoyable. I don't like doing them, but certainly it's relatively easy mentally to hit a 5k on the road. But 5k on the track is a different beast altogether. 12 and a half laps of sheer misery,
and spikes as well.
And spikes, yeah, and calves riddled, yes. And not very enjoyable. So, especially for some of the younger athletes.
Just to go back to that first heat of the men's 400, so Chris O'Donnell took the win with 49.45. So he's automatically through. Then Fionn Carroll sits in the first time spot at the minute with 50.19, so good run from him there, Clonif Harriers man. Jed Walsh held on for 50.58 after that strong start. Hugo McGee 51.50, Ben Hughes 52.03, and Keelan Hogan 52.56. So all those results are on live.athletics.ireland.ie. You can get them there as we go through the heats. And like I said, there's just 3 spots up for grabs outside of the number 1 slots for the automatic qualifiers.
Yeah, so on this one we've got Billy Ryan from Castlecomer AC, hoping to emulate a previous Billy Ryan of Ferrybank AC. And did he win a national title? Feel like he medalled anyway at some point, silver perhaps.
Possibly in the 4 or the 8. He's certainly ran the World Indoor Championships in 2010 as a young lad, 19, 20-year-old, so he's still only maybe 29 or 30.
He's same age as me.
There was serious confusion. Everyone thought it was the Billy Ryan was back, but no, he's
transferred in, big transfer into the Dubai backed Castlecomer AC.
Indeed. He's no, the real Billy Ryan is not back.
But the other Billy Ryan.
But Billy Ryan Mark II is here, and he's ready to do his business.
And we also have Colin Crosby from Ennis Track AC, and then we've got Jack Manning from Kilkenny City Harriers AC. Both of them all 3 of those are under 23. Ryan Henry from St. Coca's AC, Owen Scully from Galway AC Harriers AC, and Billy Conroy Roach from Rathfarnham WSAF, which I think you used to refer to as a WASAF.
And why not? So just for these...
Women's 5,000 metres is a straight final at 4 o'clock.
The women's 5,000 metres is now a straight final at 4 o'clock. Our president, Georgina Drum, is just announcing to her adoring fans in the stand as they all look kind of confused and perplexed at that idea.
I think they all knew it was already a straight final, and they kind of looked around going, all right.
There
was
it
it
is.
Not already a straight final?
Yes, I think that was
just cause some confusion.
But
2 by 5k?
Why not? Back to back. The under 23 category, of course, as we're saying, is incorporated in these championships. So, in the case of events like the 400, where there's a lot of heats, if only one or two under 23s qualify for the final, the bronze medal will be given out on the times from the heats. So it'll go on times after that. But if they're in the final, it'll go on the placings from the final. So if you're on a fast heat and then your buddy beats you in the final but ran slower, you still only get that silver medal.
Outrageous.
To your right.
Yeah.
So Billy Ryan, Cathal Crosby, Jack Manning, Ryan Henry, Owen Scully and Billy Conroy Roach make up this field. 6th of the minute. Crosby is the indoor champion. This is his first race of the outdoor season. Possibly his last after tomorrow. His last weekend.
Yeah, it's a opener and closer.
Yes. Will be from a lot of athletes here this weekend. But he'll be just doing enough here to get himself through safely in the number 1 spot. But Jack Manning is in good form. He's run sub 50 seconds already this year as well, in Kilkenny not so long ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 Sundays ago.
Back on his local track, which would be a lot softer than this track here in Santry, so therefore slower for the sprinters, but didn't have the wind that he's going to face today. So it's just about keeping things composed on the back straight, not overdoing it, and not wasting too much energy while you're with the wind, so you have something left to battle it when you get to that home straight. But we are out well, and Manning is after a very good start there. He's certainly taken a metre or two out of Crosby and Ryan Henry outside him, but Crosby is starting to put the boot down now a little bit, as is Owen Scully of Galway City Harriers in the outside. So Crosby's closing that gap down on Manning now. He looks quite comfortable down the back straight, using that tailwind to push him down and take a bit of the energy out of it, and now he can start to push on a little bit more. You can see he just dips into the bend that little bit, Crosby, but Manning is holding on to him well. It's just that one spot up for grabs here as the automatic spot, so Crosby won't have it his own way. Manning is on the lane outside, so that stagger has already unwound. Crosby comes through in around 34 high, and he's coming down the home straight with a 2 metre lead, but Manning is pushing back at him. If he can get up near, it might put a bit of a shake on Crosby's form, but he is going to hold on. I think he's working very hard into that tailwind. You can see his headwind, you can see his hair blowing, but he crosses the line at 49.16, and Manning will have a season's best there for himself, but it won't be good enough to take an automatic spot. And I think that was Billy Ryan of Castlecomer, the much talked about man in the early stages of this lineup, gets that 3rd spot. So I think Ryan Henry, maybe of Coca's or Owen Scully, picked up 4th, but a good run there from Jack Manning in these conditions, most definitely. And Cathal Crosby working very hard there. He didn't have it all his own way, and it wasn't as easy as maybe he thought it would be.
I don't want to do it.
Go for it.
But I will. Cathal Crosby, surely. Could he move up?
Right, Jerry.
I know, it's a real Jerry Kiernan line, but I was just watching him on the back straight there. At the very least, he is a lovely, long
overstriding with the tailwind is what he was doing in the back straight there, Ron. So I
but
won't.
Still, tremendous.
Yeah, you know, he's a very fluid runner, and he's quite tall and lean and long, which leads a lot of critics to push everyone higher up.
Critic? Big fan.
Up the
certainly
events.
400 meter hurdles, perhaps. I think he's tried that before, has he?
I've never seen him hurdle before,
No?
but he is based in Haley Harrison and Drew Harrison's group in Limerick with Thomas Barr. So, I mean, if anyone's going to make him a hurdler,
surely, yeah.
it's going to be Ronan Duggan.
Yeah, well, it's your time to shine, Carl.
Correct.
All right, come on up here to the commentary box.
Group 2 of that long jump men's competition are getting their run-ups sorted and taking a few practice pops off the board, so they will be getting ready to rock straight in once that first competition has wound up, and I think it may have wound up. It looks like they got 3 jumps each. If you can just check the result there for me, Ronan. I'm sure you watching in have already figured it out for us, but I would imagine it was 3 jumps each, in the top 4 from that, or the top 8 overall will remain on for a further 3 jumps.
I believe it's going to be the top 8 overall. Yeah, so we've got Group 1 has now expanded wildly, and Group 2 has completely disappeared, which
excellent.
Is, I'm sure just a technical issue. Yeah, so we have not started the second round yet, but I think what's going to happen is we'll go 3 each and 3 each then for the remaining Group 2, and then the top 8 from the overall. So I suspect what they were looking to do there with the seeding was so that the likes of your Adam McMullins and Shane Howards would have less time between their early jumps and their latter jumps.
Not just favouring the athletes who have jumped further in the past, but it's more likely that the top 8 could come from that second group, so it would be more of a continuous competition rather than the athletes in the previous group having to take that long break and come back.
No, it was Adam McMullen's Twitter rant.
His outburst, is what you could call it. No, he fielded the question and they came up with a solution. So,
yeah, fair play to Lexer, and it looks like it's going to get the competition off to a higher standard. We really want to make sure that those athletes they're going to be in that top 8 as well are jumping to the best of their abilities, trying to make it as comfortable as possible for them to
Indeed,
jump well.
as economic as possible to get through to that second round. But as we said, with the wind changing in the sprints from heat 1 to 5, the rain has come down for these athletes in the long jump as well, so they're going to be jumping into muggy sand, and it may affect their performance in a different way to the athletes previous, but maybe it'll dampen the wind a little bit as well, hopefully.
I don't know if that's how weather works.
Surely. If the rain falls on the wind, that'll knock it down.
I think it just knocks it down, yeah.
Will that be lower then?
I think
it'll be lower than the wind gauge, so it won't count.
Oh, yeah, and they may end up just getting like chopped at the knees
Anyway,
for the wind and fall forward, which may beat Raphael McCaffrey's 154 from earlier on.
possibly so. The results of that second heat of the men's 400 metres are up online. So Colin Crosby did take the first automatic spot, 49.14. 49.43 for Jack Manning. That could be enough to go through. Billy Ryan with 51.64 in third. Owen Scully fourth, 51.97. Ryan Henry 53.56, and Billy Conroy Roach 55.13 for sixth place.
Yeah, you'd imagine just looking through the rest of the fields there, you're looking at obviously the heat winners, and you'd imagine that heat 5 or heat 4 with Paul Murphy and Owen Buggy and Aaron Tierney Smith in there as well. You've got a pretty strong field there, and then in 5 then as well, Mitchell Pender and Jordan Knight all in that one. So Jack Manning might have just done enough there with 49.43. He said that sub 50 will probably get you over the line today.
Yeah, the next 3 heats are going to be tight though. Andrew Mellon goes in this third heat, but he's got Eamon Wallace in there with him. Wallace has run sub 49.50 this year as well. He beat Craig Newell up in Belfast a week and a half or so ago, so he's in good competitive shape, and he actually ran on the night before that as well. So he's run 2 49s one day after each other about 10 days ago, which is really
practice.
Really good prep here. It's about as ideal as you could get when you're coming into a championships like this, but he may need to go just a little bit faster to get himself into the final tomorrow. Of course, he was a really good athlete as a younger man, with a 48-second performance to his name, and then spent many years on the football pitch for Meath, but he is back now on the track full time. But he's got Andrew Mellon to deal with here. Mellon hasn't posted a 400 metres this year. He has run a 300, I think, at 34.4, and he has run a couple of 2s, but this will be his first one-lap outing.
Absolutely, and obviously an athlete who's been in the mix here over the last couple of years, Andrew Mellon, indoors and out. So certainly will be in the mix here, trying to battle with Chris O'Donnell, who won Heat 1 at a canter. So that lineup again: Michael Culligan from Neenah Olympic, Owen Devlin from St. Senans, Andrew Mellon from Crusaders AC, Zach Higgins from Dunor Harriers, Eamon Wallace from Matot AC, and Finn Riley from Dunleer AC.
Just a correction on that previous result. Keely Hogan is Lakela, so that's obviously another little gremlin, as SELK on YouTube points out to us. But we've got Quilligan, Devlin, Mellon, Higgins, Wallace, and Riley. So watch out for Andrew Mellon in lane 5 here. He's probably the fastest man on paper, over 60 right up to 400. So he should get out well, but it may just be doing like Chris O'Donnell and Colin Crosby, get themselves to 300 and then see what they need to do to get home in that first spot. And a false start there from Zach Higgins, not to preempt what the judge is going to order, but it certainly looked like the Dunor man got away ahead of the gun, unfortunately.
Higgins is gone.
Duggan has confirmed, our track referee here in the stands has confirmed it, Ronan. So it's going to be, I'd imagine, a short wait for Zach Higgins to hear his fate, and he is taking a long walk back, well past his blocks. I think he has decided that he's going to own up to his error. Unfortunately, after all that, the vest comes off. He's done the Usain Bolt. He's gave the game away. May have gotten away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, wait until you're thrown out. Sit down on the track. Be dragged from the track. He could have got away with it today. And just gone, no, social distancing. Don't come near me. And then we're like that.
He was social distancing from the gun there. He went at least 2 meters before it was fired. But that is unfortunate for Higgins of Dunor. That'll be the end of his championships for this weekend, certainly, unless he's entered in a 200 next weekend. He gets the official red card there.
We'll find out.
And we're down to 5 for this race.
Men's 200 meter heats. I'll have a look there now.
We've got Michael Quilligan of Nina in lane 3, Owen Devlin of St. Senans in 4, Andrew Mellon in 5, Crusaders AC. Lane 6 is now empty. Eamon Wallace goes in lane 7, and Finn Riley of Dunleer out in lane 8.
He isn't entered, but you are.
I certainly am. It's just the winner to go through automatically here. And we're safely away at the second time of asking. So Mellon is out quite hard, as is Wallace. Wallace went out very fast up in Belfast in that race that I mentioned where he bet Craig Newell, and he's just settling into it now. He's quite a choppy stride and tight arm carriage, but Mellon looks quite smooth down the back straights. Just using that wind, he's a strong athlete. It won't affect him as much when he comes into the home straight, as he'll spend a little bit more time on the ground than the others, but comes through the 200 metre mark, and he's quite quick. He's probably 22 mid, so he'll be comfortable enough at that pace, especially with that tailwind. As he comes through the 250, he's got a couple of metres up on the Ratoath man, who's starting to work hard now. He's 2 lanes outside, so that stagger is quite large, and Mellon has a 2 or 3 metre gap on him. But let's see how this one finishes. Eamon Wallace is starting to make a big push for home here. Mellon has a bit of work to do. He's looking around him. He's going to see Wallace on his outside. He starts to put the boot back down again. He was starting to shut down, but Mellon is going to take it just in 49.49 from Wallace, and Michael Quilligan getting up for 3rd place there with Finn Riley in 4th, and Owen Devlin taking the 5th spot there. So Mellon, like Crosby before him, thought he had done enough at 3:20, 3:30. Started to look around and realise, I'm not done yet, and had to get back into 5th gear and move towards the finish line with a bit more effort. But safely secures his spot in the final. So like I was saying, usually it's around a 48.2 or so it takes to get to the final here at the National Championships, but obviously with this weather here today and the build-up of these athletes, it's going to take a little bit less, but 49 there for Andrew Mellon, and he is the 3rd man automatically through. He joins Cathal Crosby and Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, and certainly Jack Manning will be breathing a little bit easier there in that one, because the winning time in Heat 3 slower than his 2nd place time in Heat 2, so he gets more and more likely that he will qualify as the fastest qualifier.
Yeah, because Eamon Wallace would have been one of the contenders for one of those fastest qualifying spots, so he's ahead of him now, which is a big plus for the Kilkenny City Harrier man.
Yeah, you'd imagine he might have just snuck under 50 seconds there.
Yeah, I'd imagine he was 49.9 or possibly 8.
Possibly
so
7?
Maybe even 6. But as you said, Paul Murphy going this next one, he's a 48 clock into his name already this year. Owen Buggy is a 48.70 man at his best, just getting back there after a couple of injuries in the last few weeks, which really hampered his build-up. But there's certainly a few more athletes to come of class that will be battling for those 3 non-automatic qualifying times, because it's all up for grabs here in that 40th or 50th, as you said. Jamie Pender, Dion Marcus, Jamie Mitchell, all well capable of going sub 50 seconds as well. So Pender 48 clocking as well already this season, so he'll be hoping for that big queue. But he's going to have his work cut out for him as well.
Certainly, it's going to be interesting to see who gets in there. But anything in the sub 50 second category will certainly put these boys in with a shout, so that you can see the wind. We might be able to see it on your camera there right now on your screen, but we can see it here. It is billowing in the background there. You can see it in the back of the top left of your screen there. It is breezy.
Raincoats and umbrellas on the way to their blocks is something you don't see too often. Owen Buggy there, just taking all precautions rather.
I missed the umbrella now, I have to say, yeah. But genius. Just in case. Yeah, it is August, That's when the rain comes in, I believe.
It's monsoon season here. Santry today. The winds are blowing out from all sides. So pool 2 of that men's long jump, there's still tapes being drawn down the runway, people getting their marks.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick update there on I won't, because they haven't actually there's been no further jumps, so still John Nolte holding that position at 6:52. If they were to finish the competition now, he'd be the champ.
He certainly would, but pool 2 has yet to go, and as you said, it would be the top 11 are in that, or certainly down to start that pool 2 based off either season's bests or PBs.
And answers to hard quiz questions, I believe, is also an option.
I would imagine so.
Capitals of the world got you into that second group.
Famous Father Murphy AC athletes, things like that. Things that no long jumper would know.
Well, I would have
Please
gone straight
go
with
on.
Andrew Lewis. Surely.
So that
surely.
third heat, Andrew Mellon 49.47, corrected to. Eamon Wallace 49.78. Michael Quilligan 51.65. Finn Riley 54.88. Owen Devlin 56.69. And unfortunately we lost Zach Higgins to the false start before that one started. So 2 more heats to go on that. 2 more automatic qualifiers, and then we'll be able to decide who gets those small queues and gets their spot into the final.
Yeah, and you're looking at the women's 5K and women's junior 5K as well coming up later on. I wonder if there's a possibility of the fields being mixed together. We'll see how that goes over the next while, because it seems to be kind of a small field in the junior women's race. So we'll see how that plays out. The only thing, a lot of those issues you might have seen races put together, unlikely at the moment because of the fact that there's such time between the different races. There's a good half an hour between those 2 races.
Correct.
So, and issues aren't getting people into the stadium, etc. As we've been caught twice today, trying to get in.
Certainly so. It's fairly strict here now, obviously, as it has to be to keep the numbers at a limited under 200. But there's what is entered for the women's. There's about 50 entered, is there, for that women's 5K?
Less than that. You're very bad at judging crowds. I'm not very good at judging crowds, but there must be about 1 million of them
There's
there.
at least 1 million of them in the stand here, but anyway, but I imagine they're not all competing.
I'll do some counting if you read the entry list there for that one.
Maybe 30 here. So heat 4 are told to get their club singlets ready and get behind the blocks.
24
24.
in the women's 5K.
And how many in the juniors? 24 is certainly
about
enough.
1 million.
Yeah. 2 million?
10.
What would 34 be like starting a 5K?
Yeah, sure, let them off.
Sure, go at it. Not much room for social distancing there.
No, I
Kieran D goes for Leavell in lane 2 here, but that's not Leavell, that's Emerald AC, Kieran D. Oh no, sorry, that's lane 3. Kieran D is still strolling back to his blocks, he's taking his time.
he's a bit lackadaisical, is Kieran D here, yeah.
Sean McCarthy, another under 23 for Emerald, goes in 3. Paul Murphy in lane 4. He'd be the fastest in this race so far this season. He's ran 47 seconds indoors back as a 18-year-old as well. Unfortunately broke his foot in the same race and missed out on the chance of racing at the European Indoors on the relay. Owen Buggy goes in lane 5. He had a nice breakthrough there 2 years ago to get into that 48-second shape indoors as well. St Albans man Owen Shanley, Lucan Harriers AC goes in 6. Aaron Tierney Smith under 23, Menapians is in 7, and then Oscar Comerford of Rathfarnham goes out in lane 8. So the biggest field we've had so far in these heats. Just the winner will go through automatically.
Just looking at Paul Murphy here in lane 4 from Ferrybank AC being the favourite for this heat.
And we're cleanly away. A good start there from Buggy outside Murphy. So Murphy's going to have someone to chase. Certainly Buggy's going hard on this first 100 metres. He's getting out very well, and he's opened up a little bit of a gap. You can see Murphy's long stride though as he comes around that bend and starts to settle into that tailwind. The wind has died down a little bit here for this heat and the sun is starting to come out, but Murphy has certainly got the lead now at this stage as he comes up to the 200 metre mark. Boogie's still working hard there to hold that spot. On the inside, Kieran D is going quite well there. Once the stagger unwinds into the home straight, he'll probably have the third spot from Aaron Tierney Smith on the outside, but Murphy is certainly away and clear here at the minute as we've seen the previous heats. What will he do in the home straight? 34 seconds on the clock, so it looks like the fastest 300 metres so far, and he's moving quite well. He's pushing here, he's trying to get a good time for himself. He's going to get his money's worth out of this weekend, and Murphy is streaking away. He's got 20 metres on the field. Owen Boogie's holding on to that second spot. He's suffering, but Murphy just shuts down 48.98, and Boogie crosses the line in second from Kieran D of Leavell AC.
Yeah, really strong performance there from Paul Murphy, and I suppose didn't really shut it down at all in that one, but you'd imagine
He did the one where you talk about on social media, say, and I cruised home, I shut down after with 50 metres to go when really it was 2 metres to go.
2 metres to go, yeah. He certainly didn't really, there wasn't much of a shutdown there at all, and stormed over the line, but as you said, maybe just getting the entry work, 20 quid to get in. So
Absolutely, when he's not going to get very many races this summer, and for an athlete of his calibre, 2 hard races back to back is certainly going to be no problem to him. So it's great to see him back in good shape and healthy more than anything, and another sub 49 second clocking to add to his tally.
Certainly, and we'll be interesting to see what the second and third place was there. Jack Manning, as we know, 49.43.
That's
is
safe, as
the
is
safest one, yeah.
As is Eamon Wallace. I don't think Owen Buggy was. He was probably 50.4 or so there.
You'd imagine so, yeah. So unless we see a ridiculous final heat, Jamie Mitchell and Jamie Pender Jordan Knight. A lot of good names in this one. Cathal Ryan, Raphael McCaffrey, Jamie Mitchell, Jamie Pender, Dion Marcos, Owen Kelly and Jordan Knight.
Yeah, there is 3 men who've broken 50 seconds there. And Mitchell and Pender are 48-second men, and Dion Marcus is 49 this year, so there could be still up for grabs here. But 48.98 for Paul Murphy. Owen Buggy is 50.96 there in second place, so he'll be out of the running for the spots for tomorrow. Kieran D 51.43. Tierney Smith 51.97, Sean McCarthy 52.13, Owen Shanley 53.22, and Oscar Cumberford 57.91.
Yeah, and Jordan Knight in this very stadium a couple of years back finished 4th in the triple jump, Leinster School's triple jump, got on countback, got done, then jogged over to the start of the 400 metre hurdles, I think, and then managed to qualify 2nd place. Comes out to the All-Irelands after intense disappointment.
Happy days.
Ledge. So he's
Happy
going in lane
days.
8 in this one. St. Joseph's AC man. Yeah, so you'd imagine that Jack Manning has probably gone back down to Kilkenny. Let's see you there. And come in the clear.
He's close to being safe, but nothing is guaranteed.
He's safe. He's safe, Jar.
As we're saying, the sun has come out once again. The wind has picked up, though. We can see those teardrop flags at the bottom of your shot there are gusting through.
Yeah, we're starting to see some of the long jumpers coming out now on that second group. Donald Kearns, Christian AC, 6.19. I suspect we'll see some similar first round issues, maybe not to the same extent as Group 1, but already you've seen Owen Keenan from Emo Rath, probably from City Lisburn, let's be honest.
Yes, surely. That's
failing that first.
Joy Benson there is on the runway at the minute. He's a fantastic triple jumper, so he'll be back next weekend, I'm sure, as well, to compete in that competition. But long is up today, and it's good to see a lot of the long jumpers or triple jumpers competing in the long as well.
And Dennis Murphy wants to know who we are. We're not telling you, Dennis. All right, not telling you a
You
word.
have to enter the championships, pay your €15 and compete.
Who are you, Dennis?
I am joined by Ronan Duggan, Bandon AC,
Yes.
former 800 metre runner,
Chump.
152, beast.
Regular
And Cathal Denny, of
producer.
course, was here for the morning Irish Sports Journalist of the
I
Year.
mentioned that earlier. Yeah, he brought the award.
He gives us money to say these things.
Here's Joy Benson on the runway as we will hold on and we'll introduce Gerard O'Donnell in all his glory now in a moment.
That's enough. That looks like a solid jump from Joy Benson there. He certainly got his runway run up right and got a clean mark on the board. Quite a short run up he took from the looks of it. Maybe I just caught it halfway through, but
No, it was a bit
he is,
touch short.
of course, a triple jump specialist, so maybe just working off a short approach here today, especially with the wind. The longer you go back, the more cause for error there will be.
Certainly get one in and make sure you're there for the latter rounds. Joy Benson has said our school's triple jump champion and possibly is long jump medalist as well. St. Malachy's AC man.
I'm sure you remember from the indoor championships, Ronan, he had possibly 15 items of pink clothing.
He did, yeah, and I believe he always has that pink cap on.
Yeah, he's wearing a white cap there at the minute. I think your eyes are failing you.
It could be a very light kind of touch.
It's
pink.
faded in the wash since then.
Yeah, sort of, anyway.
Ben Fisher is on the runway here in this long jump, another stutter into it, but gets a clean jump from the looks of it. From the sound, you can actually hear it from here. I don't think he hit the board. Sounded like a track takeoff, so as I said, that's a 30 centimetre or so board, or 20 rather. He'll certainly have a foot to play with.
Yeah, Joy Benson, by the way, with 6.36 there at last jump, so fairly safe, just getting one on the board. And to introduce you, Gerald O'Donnell,
Please don't.
multiple national 100 metre champion.
100 metres. So
Or
I'll take
100,
that.
110 hurdles. Sorry, yeah. Some of the soft events.
That's Jamie Davis you're thinking of, I think.
I was only thinking the other day that if our good friend John Fagan was running in the 400 metre hurdles later on, if he was to win a national title, then it really, in our WhatsApp group, myself and Phelan really looked like losers with our national titles.
Even more than usual. Mick Hines is wondering, will we be on Warzone later? Yes, is the answer. So back to this fifth heat. We have got Cathal Ryan in lane 2. Lane 3, Raf McCaffrey has withdrawn. In 4, Jamie Mitchell of Emerald AC, one of the contenders, as is Jamie Pender of St Albans. Dion Marcus on React certainly will be up there, a sub 50 man as well. Owen Kelly of Letterkenny AC in 7, and Jordan Knight running the outside there in lane 8 of St Joseph's AC. So watch out for those 3 middle lanes in particular. on paper they should be the top 3 on times, but let's see how things pan out. Today is the day to pull a PB out of your bag, and Dion Marcus has gone out very hard. He usually does, from what I know, and Pender is trying to stick with him, as is Mitchell, the tall striding man from Emberley. So those 3 are holding that stagger at the minute. On the outside there, Jordan Knight's going quite well as well, and there's a bit of room between the others, but it looks like Mitchell is starting to work up now. He's certainly going to be the first man to hit his 200 metre mark. It's quite steady as well, 22 made through there. Pender has a bit of work to do to get back at Mitchell in this one, and Marcus is working very hard already. You can see that rocking and rolling, the shoulders and the arms are pumping, so he's going to be pushing towards getting a PB here. He's going to be coming around the bend into a headwind. Mitchell has the lead by 3 metres at the minute, and Pender's got work to do, but he is starting to work hard. He's pumping. The stride is starting to shorten, and he's closing that gap slightly on Mitchell, and Marcus isn't finished yet, but it is going to be Mitchell is going to hold on. Tall man from Emberley, 48.97 on the clock. Pender is going to be in the 49 lows. He will be certainly through, and Marcus is going to have to wait and see. He could possibly have snuck a 49.6. I don't think that will be good enough, Ronan, will it?
It's
We've
faster
got
than Eamon Wallace, but it is not faster than Jack Manning.
49.78 and 49.43 and 50.19 are the 3 times sitting in the hot seats at the minute. So it's going to be all to wait and see. I think Pender certainly has done enough, but Dion Marcus will be the next man. It's going to be Marcus versus Wallace in a head-to-head boxing match to see who gets that time.
Certainly be interesting to see when those results come out who has made that final. And an interesting final. Chris O'Donnell, obviously the wild favourite, but couldn't actually pick out 2nd and 3rd place there now if I tried.
No, there's Adam McMullen on the long jump runway, and like I said previous, I didn't hear any sound of a board. It looks like a track takeoff as well. He gets the white flag, get a safe jump in, and he can make his adjustments based off that with that tailwind that they're facing.
Yeah, Shane Howard's gone into the lead in that one at 7.13. We just missed his jump there a second ago watching that 400 metre hurdle or 400 metre race. Ben Fisher in second at 6.75, but Adam McMullen you'd expect will be there about that 7 metres. Shane Howard is the 2nd longest jump this year in front of Adam McMullen, I think. No, Adam McMullen is 7.32 this year, and Shane Howard 7.26. I think Shane Howard has jumped 7.47 windy a couple of weeks back as well, so plenty of good competition in that long jump.
That was at the Hammerama here in Santry.
I believe, yeah, jump and throw fest.
Yeah. Dave
Jumpapalooza.
Sweeney's Jumperama, featuring throws.
Why not? Feet throws.
Correct.
So this is Dermot O'Connor here now on the runway from Bandon AC.
Just to give you the update on that 400 metres after this long jump.
That's Dermot O'Connor, the decathlete there as well, in the long jump, hoping to...
I think he got a break there on that one.
Oh, 7.31 from Adam McMullen, by the way. Almost beating his season's best.
Nice,
good to see that.
It looked like he had loads to spare in that one, certainly from the angle we're looking at here, but that's a real marker laid down for the rest of the field now to try and attack. But Jamie Mitchell did get the cue in that one, 48.96. Jamie Pender safety through with 49.26. Dion Marcus 49.93. So his championships are over, unfortunately. Not quite good enough to oust Eamon Wallace from that 3rd spot. Manning will go through, as will Wallace, as the 3 fastest time qualifiers. So
do you want me to call out the lanes again?
Sure, go for it. Yeah, the official confirmation from Ronan Duggan here.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we got Manning, Wallace, O'Donnell, Crosby, Mitchell, Murphy, Mellon, and Pender in those 8 spots. I will not call out that was the lane order, but as you said, that's just updated on the system. See, we're joined by Irish Sports Journalist of the Year.
We are. Yeah, Brendan Glynn has said that Cathal Denny is on commentary here, but that's a vicious lie, Brendan. He's not on it.
He's not on it at all, yeah. He's sitting down there.
He has been, and he is a has-been, but he will be again.
I'll talk you through the lunchtime scenario we had there. It was, Ger, we better go back over. Yeah, we'll head over. And then Cathal said, I'll go over in a while. And he proceeded to eat biscuits. Indulgent biscuits. Quadruple chocolate, I believe, Cathal. Is that correct?
I had presumed that the 2 of you would return and I could follow you over and eat my lunch after training, etc.
No, turns out no.
Anyway.
But we're here and we're live and we're looking at the long jump. And that looks to be the man from... Is that Cushenstown AC's Donald Kearns?
Cushenstown should be in a green singlet, but who knows?
Well, we were horribly incorrect on a lot of our singlets today. Not sure where that singlet is from.
Emo Rat, Owen Keenan.
I think the Emo Rat. We've decided Emo Rat now is City of Lisburn. They're really testing us today with these entries.
We're putting in transfer forms for people here.
We may have concocted that there was people moving out of Laois and Offaly and Kildare clubs and plenty people from other clubs.
It looks like the opposite. There's people from clubs in Northern Ireland are moving down. Yeah. Joey Benson is down as Gowran AC as well, which he's. I
the Kilkenny man.
do believe he's not a Kilkenny man. Anyway, the main thing to do is make the mistake and somebody will correct us.
Absolutely, yeah. Some keyboard warriors will abuse us.
If you see the number on his chest,
461.
that's Darren Minotor of Nina Olympic.
Yes. Oh yeah, the orange singlet. It's not the usual Nina Olympic.
No,
singlet,
he's got the updated version. He didn't have the one that Mikey Culligan had on, certainly. Like he's gone old school.
So Darren Minotor, yeah.
The Minotaur.
A man who's graced many a live stream.
Indeed.
I feel like sometime when we might be on the street somewhere and then Darren Minotor will come up and be like, "Look, lads, my name's Minotor, not Minotaur."
You just get a punch in the face somewhere randomly.
Who was that guy?
Donald Kearns is up next here, 6:19 in his first round with a 3 meters per second. So at least Darren Minotor's second round effort there, 6:48. That was a legal wind, so there are some legal winds appearing for the athletes in this group. And Donald Kearns looks to have gotten a green flag there as well, or a white flag rather.
Green, yeah.
Green vest.
But to give you an update on that one, Jared, there, Adam McMullen 7:31, Shane Howard just sneaking second place with a 7:13, and third place. Luke O'Carroll has now gone in second place from Tralee Harriers AC with a jump of 7:17 in that second round. See the wind reading there, 5.3 meters, so it is incredibly difficult to judge for these athletes.
Indeed, no Keith Marks here on the runways either, unfortunately. So I see he is an X beside his, or a dash beside his first jump, so he didn't take it. He's obviously not.
Yes, because he
present.
was here earlier.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he is around.
Right.
Maybe he just entered and he just really wanted to watch some long jumping, so snuck in.
Perhaps he didn't fancy the weather.
So this is Matthew. No, it is not. It is Owen Keenan, the under 23 athlete. Probably not a Vimo Rath, even that's who he's down as on the list. So good solid jump there from the man, Owen Keenan. Under 23s, as you know, also getting their medals today, first three.
Yeah, so we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under 23s across the two pools in this long jump. So 2 men are going to miss out on silverware, goldware and bronzeware.
Yes. That doesn't come often enough. That's a fine point.
Good point, well made. And this is Matthew Cotter now getting himself ready for his second round effort in the long jump.
Yeah, the Raheny man has jumped 6:56 there in that first round with a wind of 2.6 meters. So he'll be hoping maybe catch one of those 6 meter winds. Fly into the air.
Take flight.
He is an under 23 athlete as well, so one of the guys battling it out. He's not the leader, he's in second place. Third place now, in fact, because Owen Keenan in that last jump jumped 6:87. But here is Matthew Cotter.
It's a clean jump anyway. He'll get the white flag once he exits the pit past where he landed. He's out safe. He gets the white flag, and we'll see what he gets measured at.
That red flag is hanging dangerously.
Could go up at any minute.
Yeah, I feel like if one of us was on the flag duty, we would be dramatic in our approach. There'd be a lot of slow playing the white flag, and then whee!
Ooh. Mexican wave kind of style.
Jai Benson now back on the runway again, the St. Malachy's man. I think he competes for Lagan Valley then in the club.
That is Lagan Valley AC's vest there, that light blue or navy. Light blue and navy trim.
Navy trim, yeah. Nice vest. And as you said, better known really as a triple jumper, but multi-talented jumper. Matthew Cotter there, 6:55 with that last jump. Here goes Jai Benson, hoping to beat 6:36 from that first round. Steadying himself on the runway here. Slide back, and he's off.
Big
Serious stutter.
Yeah.
Don't think that will have improved that first round jump for Jai Benson.
Say something similar, but yeah, a very interrupted run up there. And it saps all the momentum out of the jump, really, when you build up that speed at the start of the run up and to chop that much.
Because we felt that he was a very short run up during in that first round just to get a jump in.
Yeah.
So maybe concerned over his mark there.
I think that was quite short again. I don't think it certainly wasn't a full approach run up, but he's obviously may not be focusing on the long jump too much when he's got his main event coming up next weekend.
Yeah, that was a 6:29 there, so no improvement from Jai Benson. Ben Fisher up now on the runway from City of Lisburn AC. 6:75 to beat.
Fisher has gone out towards 7:50 in the past as well, so he'll be hoping to try and get something like that here today, but certainly not on that jump. A bit of a run through. So remember, live.athletics.ireland.e, you can follow along with the results. If your internet is quicker than ours, you'll get them ahead of us.
Yeah. We're going to have Keith Marks up next if he's not there at all. So it's going to be Shane Howard from Bandit AC, hoping to prove that 7:13 from the first round. He said he's jumped 7:26 so far this season. So we'll be hoping to improve on that, to try and get himself into the gold medal position that Adam McMullen is currently in with a 7:31 jump.
I think Howard had a 7:47 here. In that
Windy, yeah.
Yeah, still counts.
In Jumpapalooza.
Jumpapalooza, yeah. It still counts as the season's best. So he's the man to beat on SBs, but he's sitting in second place so far today.
Third place, in fact, behind Luke O'Carroll with a sneaky 7:17 from Tralee Harriers. All the way up there at the top, you'd miss it, wouldn't you?
Nice one, Luke.
Luke, you could. Yeah, certainly Howard. I met him at the Dublin Graded there a couple of weeks back, and to my untrained eye, I was like, wow, he's jumping really well there. And then he came off the track and was talking about how brutal it was, and it was all in like the 6-somethings, and he was like, yeah, terrible. But I was like, wow, he looks great.
Shows how much you know.
Absolutely. I think just when a jumper is jumping like a metre below, it's like, to me, it was just really long. Well done.
Here he goes now in his second round effort. The big man from Bandon gets a red flag.
Oh, that's so...
He gets a red flag.
It's red.
Yeah. They're raking the mark straight away, which
So Howard kind of
tells you no good.
bit of fame this lockdown period, training up in the farm there. They've up in towards Fermoy, near Rathcormac there, and they training on the farm, jumping over bales and mad stuff.
I did see a picture of him jumping onto a bale of hay, which is quite good.
Dangerous stuff. Jumped on many a bale of hay in my time.
Hell yeah.
And I'll tell you now, those things will roll.
Get them when they're wrapped. There's good grip. You can go on your bare feet in the summer. You stick to the silage wrap, no?
No.
All right.
It was never that hot. Was never that hot in Cork?
Leitrim's a different story, yeah.
I was a square
Tropics.
bale man myself, as we
Oh,
see Adam
would
McMullen
be-
square up here now as he flies down the runway.
There he goes, and that looks really good from McMullen again. Better mark on the board from the previous, from the looks of it. So he'll be trying to improve on that 7:31 effort.
Yeah, I would say it's quite interesting here. You could actually hear when they're running down the runway. You can hear them hitting the board. You can hear them stomping down the runway, trying to generate that power. So yeah, red flag for Shane Howard, and looks to be good for Adam McMullen here.
Yeah, just going to consolidate his lead, I'd say, by the looks of it, if not improve on it. So certainly the more comfortable start from the man from Crusaders AC.
Oh,
6:88, so it shows what I know.
Yeah, you're all there. Yeah, certainly. As he Dermot O'Connor here flying down the runway, the decathlete from Bandon.
Needs to get a jump in. He's at 2 fouls so far, and I think that was a clean
Looks
jump.
clean enough, yeah.
The judges
He's
are
been
giving him
sent
the white
back
flag.
out. Go back out that way.
Get out the back, out the gap.
Yeah, he'd be hoping to improve. He needs to get into that top 8. So 2 fouls.
Yeah, really good multi-eventer, as you said, Dermot O'Connor, young man from Bandon.
Anything in the mid 6s should do him here as well to get through into that final 8, if that's the way it's being played. As we see, that is Luke O'Carroll, the current 3rd place athlete, 7:17 from Tralee Harriers, flying down the runway here. Tralee Harriers producing plenty of sprinters in recent times, and a good long jumper here in Luke O'Carroll, who I think might have gone to Mercy Mount Hawk.
Excellent.
Yeah, good basketball school as well. I think he's a long jump and triple jump star down there in Tralee.
Keith Marks giving the update there that he appeared, had a warm up for himself, and just had a bit of a hamstring issue that he's not quite happy with since last week. So he's going to not take any chances today, but he'll be back very soon, and certainly will. He'll be in the medals here today if he was at his best. So speedy recovery, Keith, and we'll see you back on the track very soon.
Certainly, but plenty of action going on here. We have Darren Minter running down the runway here shortly as we have some sort of flyover here from I think that could be Keith Marks leaving the stadium perhaps in his helicopter.
Possibly so.
Minter, it looks like his white flag has been dished out.
Jim O'Connor went out to 664 there to put him up into 6th place in that previous jump, his final jump under pressure. So if he can stay in that 6th spot, he'll get a further 3 efforts.
Yeah, John Nulty, by the way, looks to be still hanging on with that 652, the 8th place from the first group. And Darren Minter is going to have to be the man to get ahead of him. It's 4 centimetres off. Will the seeding, whoever did the seeding on this, will they get it absolutely correct? That'd be a nice little I did that well, like finishing a question in accounting. Huh, it's all added up.
It makes sense. They'll be raging if someone does it. Like if John Nulty gets through here now,
yeah,
the seeder's going to be raging.
They'll be going, no, I'll be ringing the seeder up.
And they'll be taking it personally with John Nulty, I'd imagine.
You're out. You'll never seed round here again.
That is Donald Kearns. Cushenstown, 6:19 is best from the first round. So let's see, is his 3rd round effort going to improve on that? He is sitting in 11th in the pool, or 11th overall rather. So that won't be enough to get him to, unless they're going with 12, but I doubt they are. It's sure to be top 8.
I'd say it's top 8, and as I said, Darren Minter didn't make it past John Nulty there, so John Nulty's still hanging on. John Nulty is effectively hanging on to the side of this cliff here. His fingernails on the side of the cliff, cliffhanger style. Will he make it? 4 centimetres of a difference so far. He's in 8th place.
If Jai Benson can get a smoother run up as well, he'd be certainly a contender. He's about 20 centimetres down on a slot in that top 8 as well. But here is Owen Keenan.
Yeah.
His last effort of this qualifier. That's the white flag.
Donald Kearns, by the way, 5.94. So John Nulty is started to. He's now got an elbow onto the left side of the cliff. He's pulling himself back up.
Only one, mind you, but it's there. That looked good there from Owen Keenan. Now, maybe the kiss of death like I gave previous, but he's in 4th anyway, so he's safe enough to get an extra 3 jumps.
Yeah, 687 jumped there in his 2nd round after a fault in his first. Said it's a lot of trouble here with the wind, causing issues to people's run-ups. So hoping that I would say it's dying down a little, but I'd be lying.
The late draws as follows. We have 215 Sarah Kelly, 219 Sinead O'Connor, 204 Ruth.
And the 5K is getting called out here as well as we speak.
199 Circle McAllister.
Matthew Cotter gets his 3rd jump in the long jump. 6:56 has him in 7th place. 6:55 2nd round, so consistent. See what he's put out to here in this 3rd one. 7:02 from Owen Keenan there, an improvement, but leaves him still in 4th place, so he's outside the medals as it is.
But certainly an excellent jump, and as you said, the under 23 leader as well is Owen Keenan. 7:02. That was Matthew Cotter. Is in 7th place, and then we got Jai Benson is the last man who could knock John Nulty out here.
Squeaky bum time.
Huh?
I won't repeat it.
So very difficult to hear here. I'm sorry if there's any interference here as we see Jai Benson getting himself ready here. He's got to improve just slightly. Matthew Cotter 6:54 gets the full sweep there of descending order. 6:56, 55 and 6:54 for Matthew Cotter in 2nd place there in that under 23 title. And Jai Benson then needs to try and improve his jump here. He's been struggling on the run up. That looks a lot bigger.
He had a better run up, but he was well off the board.
However, the hat did come off.
It did. He didn't stutter.
For the first time in my life, it revealed what's on Jai Benson's head.
His hair. He, much smoother run up there. He had a big stutter on his previous jump, so hopefully that'll be enough to carry him as far as he wants.
Well, not if you're John Nulty.
Certainly not. He's in 10th at the minute, Benson, at 6:36.
Gonna pose a question to you here, Jer.
Yes.
hat falls off backwards.
If it falls back previous to where he
Yeah.
lands, that's
Right.
as happens with hair and wigs, as we've seen in Diamond Leagues in the past.
That was a 5.91 from Jai Benson, so it looks like John Nolte is safe into that.
So he's going to be the only man from Pool 1 who'd have to come back.
The guy who
Hopefully
did the
he's-
seating goes home
He
devastated.
really does. He'll have to go get himself re-warmed up. He'll be sitting around for the last 40 minutes waiting to see what the results show.
Yeah, and that was Ben Fisher there. Next up, we've got Shane Howard. Fail, and he's second jump at 7:13. He's in third place behind Luke O'Carroll and Adam McMullen. And he'll be hoping to pop. All you need is one big jump.
Yeah, so the likes of Howard and McMullen, of course, and Fisher even would have been going for it from jump 1. They wouldn't have been too worried about getting into the qualification spots. So McMullen obviously got himself out to that 7:31 nice and early. He can really push on now and try and use that tailwind as much as possible, get himself out to a big number towards that 750s and even beyond.
Yeah,
But
Howard now on the runway. I said 7:47 windy this year. He's pointing.
Just tells the official to get the cone out of the way.
That would be distracting. These athletes are in the zone here now on the runway. Howard trying to beat that 7:13 from the first round, but he's safe for the last final 3 jumps. We're hoping to pop a nice big jump here. Just fixing his mark.
Nice and fast on the runway, and that looks pretty good. Gets the white flag. He just hops out the wrong side of the pit and returns to track side. We'll wait and see what that's measured at, but 7:13, as you said, has him in third spot at the minute. But he's got his work to do to get back up towards his best.
Yeah, certainly. And you can see next to him there Ben Fisher as well, who's jumped 7:06, keeping a close eye on the results there. He jumped 7:06 in that last round, so gets him up to 4th place there in front of Owen Keenan, who jumped 7:02. So good standard here. A lot of guys, 5 guys over 7 meters, which was the benchmark for kind of national level performance.
7:44 for Shane Howard. He is into the lead.
Yeah, and a 3-meter wind there as well, so not too far away from the legal element of wind, but
50% over, Ronald.
it's closer than everyone else. McMullen's 2.5 wind in there in the first one, in fairness.
Yeah.
And McMullen now is going to try and immediately wrestle back his lead here. Looks big as well, but then again, really don't have a clue what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Hoping for an immediate response. It'll be a season's best if he does regain that number 1 spot.
Yep, 7:44 from Shane Howard to beat. 7:31 the first round from McMullen as I refresh
That
immediately. That
screen is showing the time for the jumpers rather than the...
yeah,
the
it's a jump of
distances.
1 minute. He was in the air for 1 minute.
It certainly was.
7:17 for Adam McMullen, so still in second place. Shane Howard with a big jump there, 7:44 in that third round. 3 more rounds to come. And for all of you wondering out there, yes, John Nolte is still safe in 8th place. Good to see Cahill here as well, you know. Don't know if we mentioned Irish Sports Journalist of the Year
2019.
2019, yeah.
Certainly not 2020.
It was a weak year, in fairness. Weak field.
It was, yeah. It was a few injuries, a few carpal tunnels. You know,
Yeah, a bit of tendonitis in the wrist.
Yeah. a few leaky pens.
Yeah, like, well, he got in a good fountain pen that year, like, in fairness to him.
Yeah. He invested heavily in the judges' back pockets.
Oh, I'd say so, yeah. What did you write about, Colin? Your classic.
Summer holidays, I think he said. My summer holidays.
Yeah, My Staycation 2020 by Colin Dennehy.
Okay, ladies in the 5,000
Secret Beaches of the West by Colin Dennehy.
are now open in numbers 2, 3 and 4.
So the call rooms are open now for the women's 5,000 metres. If you can hear announced over the tannoy.
2, 3 and 4.
The men's long jumpers are putting their gear back on as they await the judges' announcement on the top 8 to get a further 3 jumps, rather.
Yeah, we can tell you here that it is going to be Howard, McMullen, and O'Carroll, Fisher, Keenan, Dermot O'Connor, Matthew Cotter, and John Nolte.
Well, John.
Holding
did
on
the
strong.
business.
Women's 5,000 metres up shortly as well. So you're pretty excited about that one there, Jar?
Certainly am. Gonna hand it over to Cahill so I can actually watch it. Get splits.
We need,
Upload
we had
it
a
to
few
my
issues
Strava.
earlier on, by the way, but
Oh.
the lack of timing on our part. So
I did look at the stream and wonder, where's the clock?
yeah, so we may need. I don't own a watch, so
Cahill's come up with all sorts of excuses here.
we got
Why he didn't start his own watch, that's what I don't know.
Roisin Howard as well messaging in, complimenting the commentary. So look, it's okay. We're already supporting your brother, right?
Yeah,
you don't need to try and be nice to us here. But yeah, Shane Howard
But
there.
keep trying.
Wonder who has more national titles in that family there. Roisin Howard's won a good few national titles as well, particularly in the multi events.
In the senior ranks, I don't think Shane has
Feeling he might have
maybe
been indoor.
one or two
Roisin,
national
could you,
outdoors last year.
Conclude here. Go down to the that room, the massive trophy room.
It's a
in your
trophy
house.
cabinet. Wade through all of yours and get as far as Shane's
Yeah,
corner and see what's
Shane's
there.
little corner on the window.
Wipe the dust off and open the lockbox. So just a breather for the athletes there to catch their breath, get their gear back on. and see
John
who's
Nulty's
up.
been waiting 40 minutes for this.
John Nolte is asleep. You have to wake up, John Nolte.
Old man Nulty. So yeah, there's a good field here in the women's 5K as well. They've just been called into the call room, but you've got the likes of Keir Wilson, national indoor champion, is on our start list here. This may not be who we actually see on the start line, but Michelle Finn in there as well, Breach Connolly, Kerry O'Flaherty, Claire Fagan, Niamh Moore.
You just spoke Michelle Finn into existence there. She appeared as you said
She
it.
did appear, yeah.
Say something else.
Any comment, Michelle, pre-race? No? Michelle's making a lot of faces here as she runs back down into the call room. I'm going to make her disappear as well. Michelle Finn. There she's gone.
Magic.
And also Niamh Moore, who I saw run a 4-mile road race down in near enough to Shane Howard's house, actually in Fermoy there recently, and she was absolutely flying it. She's in very good shape, so
Right.
I suspect she'll be thereabouts over
Pressure's
the 5K.
on.
Sinead O'Connor in that one as well, from Leavell, so good Leavell contingent in this one. Cahill has an eagle eye in the Leavell background staff there with John Shine. Any comments on the...
No,
No, he only sent you the men's. Did he?
he's giving me nothing. He's playing his cards close to his chest.
He certainly is.
I'm examining some of the footwear of some of the ladies who are running the 5K. I'm the unofficial adjudicator on what's allowed. These Asics flats are proving quite popular, the Tokyo ones.
Oh yes,
Mm.
yeah, the ones with the pogo stick
Fluorescent
in them.
orange/pink,
Yeah.
25mm thickness.
Michelle Finn though is as we get blown out of it by the system here. 15:42 Michelle Finn has ran this year.
She
on,
has.
on the track.
In Melbourne.
She also
Down
ran like
under.
in around 15:40 something there, or 15 maybe even 15:35 recently in Phoenix Park, part of a training session. So she's in
It's not
very
bad.
good shape. I feel like it was that 15 or maybe 16. No, I'm lying entirely. It's a minute slower than that.
Wouldn't
She
be
ran
the first time.
16:40 in
She
training.
ran a 200-meter rep there. I was watching her warm up. Very Jack Daniels style warm up.
Jack
The
Daniels,
physiologist,
whiskey.
not the whiskey.
Excellent. Yeah, a little bit confused.
He
there.
liked
Was
his.
she going from lane to lane in a zigzag
Theory.
type fashion?
Any young distance runners watching? Big. You could do worse than go on. Stay off Jack Daniels. Secondly, you could do
Point
worse
number
than
one.
going on YouTube and putting in Jack Daniels and watching some of his talks and clips on warming up and
She
just
did 200
generally
meters.
distance running in general.
Not unlike the
Yes.
Juan Carlos Aguero.
It's very much of his style. Hishamel Garouge before the 2003 World Championships in
Edmonton?
Paris.
Oh, one is Edmonton. Is it?
First one I ever
Yeah.
went to as a youngster, and was obviously worshipping him and watching his warm up. And he was the only one. Once all the men's 1500 meters came out for the final, he went and ran a 200 meters in about 27, 28 seconds. Everyone else did the usual 50, 60 meter stride. I was like, that's interesting.
We once trained with Juan Carlos Aguero, Cahill.
We
Fourth in
did.
the Beijing Olympics. Well, trained near him. In a
We were on the same track as him.
Yeah, and he did a load of 200 meter reps. Kind of before as part of the warm up before the session as well. I did that day.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So
Jack Daniels explains it before a cross-country race of his principle is that when you do 10 by 8k, say, if you're running a 10k cross-country race, you do 10 by 8k in training, he asks his athletes, when do you generally feel the best and freshest? And they'll never say the first one. So he's like, it'll usually be the third or fourth one when they're really into their rhythm. So he's like, you want to get that out of your system during the warm-up and that bad first one, as it were, and get the system properly warmed up. And obviously lower the heart rate to resting levels before you actually start and not put gunk in the legs. But,
yeah,
it's interesting.
I do.
Jack Daniels style warm-up.
Your classic warm-up is just to like run
15
like 20
minutes,
meters.
few strides.
Yeah, a few strides. And then
Away you
the strides
go.
get shorter and shorter as they get close to the race.
I do feel distance runners look towards sprinters with a certain amount of envy with the drills they do.
Oh,
As in, they have to warm up and then they have to go into
Confusion
the
rather
call
than
room
envy.
and they're like, I do my 15 minutes and I've done my strides, but now I have to go into a call room 45 minutes before the race. It's like, what else? What do people do?
Just stand around talking and going,
Yeah,
are you getting
exactly.
on? You good shape?
shaping.
You good shape? Yeah, I'm
Probably
more
looking in the mirror like sprinters do. Isn't that right, Ger? Jared does no longer has a microphone to defend
we can say whatever we
himself
like.
and all sprinters.
Judging by your silence, Jar, you agree fully with everything we're saying.
Thankfully, the fellow sprinters on the production team here also do not have microphones. They're too busy looking in small pocket mirrors of themselves. Still shapers after all these years.
Yeah, mirrors always on.
We've a lull in action now.
But not
there's-
a lull in the atmosphere, Carl.
Yes, you can't lull what was never there.
Yeah, very, very quiet as we were saying here today. You can hear the sounds of huffing and puffing on the track when the 5k was going on earlier, and you've got the slam of the feet on the boards in the in the long jump. So certainly, as Jordan Donald takes leave here, enough of our abuse.
He can't take it anymore. He's a fragile soul.
He's gonna go home to look in the mirror. I haven't
Yeah.
looked in the mirror in at least 20 minutes. Better go. So yes, this 5k final, 13 minutes to go.
Out to go, yeah. It would be quite an impressive run if it was 13 minutes.
Yeah, 14:41 national record. Sonia Sullivan, she was pretty good, wasn't she? That one.
She wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
That was in the Sydney Olympics. Holds the championship record as well of 15:20.
Sonia could have definitely run 14:20 odd.
You'd imagine, judging from her 3k PB, that she would have. Yeah. She had a decent career. though, in fairness.
Wasn't the done thing though in the 90s to run 5Ks for women, so never really got that chance to hammer one in your Monacos or your Zurichs.
Yeah, you'd imagine they would have been fairly swift. I believe the only athlete to win European titles over 3,000, 5,000 and 10,000.
When did she win the 10,000? Wait, yes,
2002,
you're
Munich.
right. She did the double. What am I
Yeah.
on about?
And
98 she did the double.
Was it?
5 and 10. And it must have been a 3 then in 94, was it?
Yeah.
There we go. Mystery solved.
Oh, well, lads. We actually know other things as well. We're not just losers.
No, we're losers.
I saw that the other day on, I think it must have been on Athletics on Twitter or something about Sonia Sullivan winning those three races. So,
In fact, this is quite tragic that I got that wrong there initially, because I interviewed Sonia Sullivan about that a month ago, specifically about her European gold medals, and wrote a feature for European Athletics that was published last week.
that must have been it.
That was it. And it's already left my head.
That is appalling. As we see John Nolte there on the runway for this long jump. As you can see the umbrellas in the background. It's been one of those days. Nolte here from Manly AC, striding down the runway, and a bit of an issue there in that one. John, as we know, is in Group 1, so he's probably a little bit cold going into that one. But he jumps nonetheless, the Manly AC man. So we know it's really hotting up there. The latter stages of that competition: Shane Howard 7:44, Adam McMullen 7:31, and Luke O'Carroll from Tralee Harriers hanging on there with a 7:17 performance in round 2.
Yeah, it'll be the top 8 only now in reverse order. Gives a bit of an advantage, and the 5K women are merging out onto the track.
Merging out from the depths of the stadium here.
They certainly are.
A bit of an interloper there in lane 1, though. I'm unsure. Oh, she could be warming up for the women's junior race, yeah.
Yes.
Thought someone was just saying, sometimes you come up to Century and there's someone walking in lane 1
Yeah.
on a Tuesday evening.
Tough to get in today.
It was tough. How'd you get on the way
There's
there?
a lot of not tonight, bud, at the at the entrance. No, I was fine there.
Yeah. Actually,
The guy actually didn't notice me, and I registered with him. I was like, hey, "Here, I'm here," and he was like,
Back
"Oh,
again."
who are you?" And I was like, "I'm doing the stream." And he's like, "What?" I was like, "You saw me earlier." And he's like, "Oh yeah, go on."
so what you're saying is they've got pretty lax.
They are. Much like us, their enthusiasm is waning.
Yeah, here's John Nolte now again. That must have been a practice jump there in that first round as he was in Group 1. Nolte with a far superior jump there for his 4th jump. The Ann Lee man, the top jumper in Group 1. He's best so far, 6:52. And he's looking to try and make his way up from 8th place there. Just held on by fingertips, 4 centimetres, I think, between him and 9th place.
And now it'll be Matthew Cotter of Raheny Shamrock, 7th place with a best of 6:56. And he followed that up with a 6:55 and a 6:54. So unlike our women's long jumper earlier, he's getting worse every round. Will this be a 6:53? Yet to be decided.
Hopefully not for Matthew
He's
Cotter's
only getting
sake.
worse by 1 centimetre, though.
Yeah, he's not going wildly wrong. He is in 3rd place though in that. Oh no, I'm lying. Am I?
Under
No, I'm not
23.
lying. 3rd place in the under 23 category. So hoping to hang on to that bronze medal. So bit of excitement there as well. If he gets up in over the 7 meters, he can try and sneak above Owen Keenan from City of Lisburn. But I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Here's Diarmuid O'Connor then, 6:64, 6th place overall.
Pulled it out of the bag in that 3rd round to not risk embarrassment, humiliation,
Yeah, and a long journey
outcasting in Bandon tonight.
home. Aye, I wouldn't assume we'd probably put
Fires
up the walls.
burning, not to celebrate, but to throw
Smoke
him
out.
onto. He's off down the runway. 4th round of the men's long jump. Good speed going into that board.
They still do a lot of that in West Cork, the old bonfires for great achievements. Randomly on the side of the road.
As they should.
Yeah. Always great
A
to see.
relic of a bygone era.
Certainly,
a more
yeah.
innocent time in Ireland.
It's an innocent
When
place.
all those politicians were honest.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Haughey and stuff.
Yeah, it's good lads.
Bertie Bowl.
Good to see it built in the end, So as we said, the women's 5k, big field there, about 25 athletes on our start list. We'll have to check our start list again momentarily because it'll be updated as we see.
It's like a highway over there on the back straight with them going back and forth their strides.
A lot of activity.
The ASICS runners really do stand out here. They're a very popular choice as they're one of the most easily available sub 25mm thickness racing flats at the moment.
And their glorious colour as well. I must say, I'm a big fan of the orange.
It's excellent. ASICS, perhaps the new kings, given the new rules on the track.
Yes, Ben Fisher here, I think, from not from Emo Rath. He's on the runway. See, the problem here is that everyone from City Lisburn is now is Emo Rath. So
Owen
what
Keenan,
happens?
I think, of Emo Rath.
You reckon? I
I think so. He was in 5th place.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But he's not actually from Emo Rath. He's from City of Lisburn, which is not that.
Yeah,
place.
the clubs are.
Emo Rath has basically is probably the most populous place.
Emo Rat sounds kind of like a name for a rock band.
It does, yeah. Is failure there. Well, a run through of that one. We'll actually get specifically who that is because we have 2 Emo Rath athletes who aren't actually from Emo Rath. I feel like I've said Emo Rath like 95 times.
Perhaps because you have. Final whistles summoning this women's 5k field to the line. The first senior final on the track of the 2020 Irish Life Health Track and Field Senior Championships, incorporating the Under 23 Championships. I'm not saying that again because it's an absolute mouthful.
Difficult to say. But what's not difficult is to call out this list, or well, I might be proved wrong. Sarah Kelly, Under 23 from Inishowen AC. Shane O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You from Leavelle AC. Ruth Heary, Under 23, Waterford AC. Cleena Murphy, Dublin City Harriers AC. Una Britton, Kilcool AC. And I will stop calling out all the words. Circa McAllister, Under 23. Grace Lynch, Aisling Murthaugh, Under 23. Ciara Hickey, Nikita Burke, Circa McDonald, Ciara Wilson, Katrina Mullen, Christine Russell under 23, Michelle Finn, the race favourite, Shannon Kelly, Breach Connolly, Niamh Kelly, Kerry-Ann O'Flaherty, Claire Fagan under 23, Ida McDonald, Fiona Clinton, Megan Ryan and Niamh Moore. Well, it looks like I had loads of time in the end.
Yeah,
He
you've
mugged
really
himself off
screwed
there.
over a lot of the clubs at
Yeah.
this point. So they've been split
go
into
back?
2 for the waterfall start, as it's called. Waterfall, a great song by Chicane back in the 90s.
Yeah, or
Anyone
Waterfall.
under the age of 30
Great song by the
will
Stone
not
Roses
remember it.
back in the 90s.
You had to usurp me, didn't you?
Just saying.
Some of the less experienced athletes tend to run about 3 bends on the outside before realising they can cut in after the first bend.
There's a
But not these athletes. These are all
multicoloured
old
cones
stagers.
being used here as well to signify where to cut in. So hopefully there won't be any of those issues. So Michelle Finn really is the race favourite in this one, but a lot of good athletes in this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. In these wins, it'd be interesting if she wants to go out on her own from the beginning, or whether she wants to just sit in and cruise control it for a while and then drop the hammer.
And I believe she's entered in, I don't know if she's running, but she's definitely entered in a couple of the races over the course of the weekend. So you'd
I
imagine.
think she's running just a steeple as well.
Okay. You'd imagine even still trying
Her
maybe
domain.
not
Her
to
own
run.
domain. So Grace
the-
Lynch is beside her there on the outside. Michelle Finn cutting in, slotting in.
Were lead this
beside
year,
the leader.
Michelle Finn, in the steeplechase for quite some period of time.
Yeah, I think she might
6
still have
months.
it even. I'm not sure.
And on the
long jump.
runway
Anna
there,
McMullen is on the long jump runway. Great speed.
trying to beat that 7:44 from Shane Howard from earlier. Just get a quick check there and see if there's been any updates as you concentrate on the what's happening on the track. I'll get an idea of
There's just too much action going on here.
any improvement. Yeah, look, there's only 2 things happening and we're still struggling with it. It's not
There's no
great.
crowd noise.
Ben Fisher 6:99 in that long jump, and Shane Howard still in the lead 7:44. No word on Adam McMullen yet.
And it looks, we'll give you that result as soon as it comes through. But 7:44 to mark the beat still from Shane Howard. Well, as the latest. They come through the lap in about 78 seconds.
yeah,
So just outside 5-minute miling.
Shane Howard here, the leader in the long jump on the runway. Jumped 7:44 in his last round. There's a bit of time since then, so he's hoping to jump beyond that. Coached by Liz Coomey, Bandit AC athlete here, tearing down the runway. And that looked pretty big.
Gets the white flag.
Yeah, good series here as well. 7:13, 7:44. 7:07 from Adam McMullen, so no improvement from him in round 4. Will Howard have put even more time or distance between him and Adam McMullen? Michelle Finn there in second place. And the athlete in front, I'd say, is Breach Connolly.
That's Nikita Burke
Nikita Burke.
of
Apologies.
Letterkenny AC out front. Michelle Finn in second. Grace Lynch in third. Kerry O'Flaherty in fourth. I think that's a Schleek Coolin athlete there, but I don't
Una
think...
Britton, is it?
No, I don't think that's Una Britton in fifth. It's another athlete.
Oh, Una Britton is further back, I think, yeah.
Um,
Una Britton's
We'll
out.
ID her quite soon. 3 Olympians in this field. Michelle Finn and Kerry O'Flaherty, 2016 Olympians in the steeplechase. Breach Connolly, Olympic marathoner 2016 in Rio. So loaded with quality and indeed quantity. 24 athletes, 3 medals, 1 champion, and they have 10 and a half laps to go.
6 medals, 2 champions. Incorporating the under 23 championships 2020.
I'm going to go take a second lunch break.
Just to clarify, you've had enough lunch to last your lifetime.
Or to last me the afternoon, as it were. So it's a medium pace. It's going to be, probably a 16.5 minute pace, I'd say, at the moment, I would guess. Being laid down.
Nikita Burke, as you said, still leading that one. Michelle Finn just sitting in behind the better known as the steeplechaser and the Ivra C athlete there. Grace Lynch just there in third place, running strongly at the moment. And the brothers Pierce athlete, Ciara Hickey, then just in behind that. So all these athletes still pretty much bunched together. We're not going to see much action here for a couple of laps, I would suspect. But certainly, Cathal, it's not a slow one anyway to start off. It's a steady pace.
It's a steady pace, yeah. It's no heroes yet, but there's no need to be heroes. I think in this wind, even Michelle Finn, if she does have that form edge over the field, isn't going to want to be the sacrificial lamb and spend 12.5 laps driving into that sickening headwind, as it could only be called, up the home straight. So I think she's quite rightly sitting in, conserving, and then whenever she does drop the hammer, it'll be a bigger hammer that she's dropping on her rivals. And if she is churning away out front into the wind, it won't be as many times she has to do it. But I'd expect to see Kerry O'Flaherty probably join her slipstream.
I would suspect so, yeah.
With a bit of tripping going on in the field there.
Claire Fagan in there as well, the under-23 cross-country champion before Christmas, I think, off the top of my head.
She ran in the European cross-country as well in Lisbon.
Lisbon, yeah.
And Una Britton, of course, also ran there. Third place at the National Cross-Country Championships. She's just in 9th place there in that green and white singlet.
Yeah,
which her older sis, which may be familiar to many people, with a certain Finula.
Yeah, and certainly you can also see in that field there as well the athlete just on the right of your shot there, Sinead O'Connor, won many road races down in Cork, and you've got Ciara Wilson there as well in the white and red. Incredible performance indoors, won the national 3,000 metre title.
Yeah, she really did take everyone by surprise there. She's sitting back in about 12th there, just on the edge of your shot, just coming into shot there in that white singlet. There she is. And can she pull off a similar upset? I think that's the kind of thing you only get away with once, isn't it?
I think so. People are well aware of how good she is now, and I think she ran just under 18 minutes or 5k there a couple weeks back in the graded meet. So don't know if she's in the same shape she was indoors, but certainly a very high quality athlete. And Nikita Burke, who's leading this race, has ran 34 minutes for 10k, which is very impressive in the Telford 10k there before Christmas, December 8th. So she's been running pretty well in the last 6 months as Nikita Burke.
And moving up on the outside there in the unmistakable singlet of Metro St. Bridget's, the green, is Katharina Mullen. She's the bronze medalist here last year. Now moving into contention at the front, saying hello, Nikita, announcing herself, but it's not quite taking the lead just yet as we look back to the long jump.
Yeah, and here is our City of Lisburn SC athlete who has medalled here in the past. Let's get his name.
Ben Fisher?
Ben Fisher, yeah, that's the one, yeah. No relation to any of the Fishers from Neighbours, I suspect. What was his name again? Mr. Fisher? 7:22 for Shane Howard in that last round as well, so didn't consolidate his lead there, but he has now produced the third longest jump as well as the longest jump.
I think he consolidated it, didn't he? He just didn't extend it.
I suppose he did consolidate it. Yeah, I'll give it that. 3 of the top 6 jumps.
We have action in the women's 5k.
Michelle Finn.
That hammer has been dropped 7.5 laps from home.
So she's got 5
laps,
meters.
3k to go.
Yeah.
So that was obviously perhaps a game plan here.
Perhaps
Chill the first
faster.
2k and then see ya, ladies. And right now it is see ya. Catch me if you can. She's got about 7 meters over Katrina Mullen and Grace Lynch.
Yeah, Nikita Burke just made that. Kerry O'Flaherty in there as well, and Ciara Hickey, and that is also Claire Fagan there. You can see there's a little bit of a gap growing there to Una Britton just behind that, and then a secondary pack then just behind that again. So lots of athletes in this one of kind of differing ability levels and form and fitness, but Michelle Finn certainly is the fittest of the lot, and she's running away from this field here with just under 7 laps to go.
Yeah, she's really set her stall out here, and no one can live with this. They're trying. Katrina Mullen, fair play to her, taking on the pacing duties and trying to keep it honest. But if anyone's going to bring back Michelle Finn, it'll have to be a team effort from here, because no one's really going to. It looks like Kerry O'Flaherty is just content to sit in there. It's a dangerous game to play, really. You don't want to be sacrificing yourself and dragging a load of others up with you for the next 7 laps, and then they outkick you for the minor medals.
Yeah, long striding athlete there just joined the back of that pack. Sinead O'Connor there as well from Leeville. Always very, very strong over 3,000 and on road races and in around the Munster area. So an athlete will be in contention here for some of the minor medals behind. You would expect Michelle Finn at this stage. But definitely a massive pack there. Very hard to decide who might get the silver and bronze here in the secondary pack. A lot of athletes still in contention.
Yeah, and Essex will be very content with the sight of all the feet of all this athletes in the second pack. Michelle Finn is out front wearing what looks like the dragonfly spikes, I think.
Bit of a
Perhaps not.
fashionista here, aren't you?
Well, you know, it's all the rage to chat about footwear these days. So interesting to note what everyone's wearing. Our leader in the men's long jump is on the runway again, so we'll cut back to that because Shane Howard is about to jump here. We'll pick him up.
Yeah, he's jumped 7:44 in round.
Adam McMullen, we
4.
just missed him there while we were talking about the 5K. He jumped 7:24 in the last round, so no improvement for Adam McMullen. Shane Howard with a 13 centimetre lead and 7:44 is still ahead as we close out this 5th round. Back in 3rd then is Ben Fisher with 7:24.
Yeah, Fisher's moved up ahead of O'Carroll there. Luke O'Carroll just 7 centimetres short of Fisher. See Howard lining up here on this runway. McMullen looking on, hoping don't go any further than he did before.
Kindly. Foul?
Oh, it's big anyway. It's a good jump from Shane Howard. Is it a foul? Looks like they're pointing back at the...
No, fouled.
Yeah, he's giving them the point at the plastic.
The point.
You see that?
The
Don't do
pointy
that.
plasty. So Michelle Finn's got a 40-metre advantage here.
Oh, and Grace Lynch there struggling with the infield a little bit. His legs are getting tired there.
It's truly escalated to absurd levels, the wind right now. It'd be tough to stand upright in this wind, and they're running straight into it up the home straight, so
Even the sitting we're doing is quite difficult.
in a very sheltered area, have to say. And
Certainly, yeah.
so the 5 laps to run it was there for Michelle Finn. 2K. 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes on the clock as she came through with 2K to go, so it's not going to be anything to write home about this time, but really the class telling itself here.
Yeah, she's storming away from this field. You can see now a little bit of a gap growing there between Grace Lynch. Sinead O'Connor is closing that gap on Katrina Mullen, but it is still Grace Lynch here at the front, Nikita Burke behind that, Ciara Hickey, Kerry O'Flaherty, Claire Fagan, Sinead O'Connor, Katrina Mullen there, rounding out that kind of second group there behind Michelle Finn.
Yeah, all class Michelle Finn though out front. Leavale are going to bag themselves a gold here and maybe even a silver as well. Sinead O'Connor still in there, hanging tough in about 6th place. Well, Michelle Finn, a mile to run for the Rio Olympian.
I think that's the 2 Denora Harriers athletes are Circa McDonald and Ida McDonald. I'm assuming sisters, they look quite alike. And then Una Britton then filling out that field. We can see the gap has now started to grow. Michelle Finn obviously striding out at the front here, running tremendously well. Coming back in the steeplechase next week, hoping to win 2 national titles here over the course of the 2 weekends, but looking absolutely fantastic down the back straight here, striding away from this field. The lead seems to be growing rather than contracting.
Exactly, yeah, she's extending with every metre we run here in Morton Stadium. And the headwind up the home straight certainly doesn't appear to be doing her any damage as she comes through with 1,400 metres to run now. Grace Lynch continues to lead it out back in 2nd, but there's a group of about 6, 7, 8 even in contention for that silver and bronze medal. So who's going to get it? Una Britton just falling off the back of that group, back in about 9th now, about a 20-metre deficit to bridge if she wants to leave here with the similar coloured medal to what she left with, the national cross country before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll try and get an update on the under-23 category there as well if we can. I know Claire Fagan there is in that front group. I think she's the only under-23 in that leading group that we see there. The Mullingar Harriers athlete there just on the left of your picture. That group has come back together again. Katrina Mullen, who looked like she was struggling a little bit, and I think that's
Claire Fagan starting to move up now and take advantage in that group, kicking on perhaps with 3 laps to go, or maybe it's just positional move and she's trying to put herself in front and out of traffic with 1,200 metres to run.
I'm not 100% sure which of the Nick Donalds that is, but one of them has gone and stuck with that group. And then Kerry O'Flaherty struggling a little bit with that second group. But Claire Fagan, definitely the under-23 leader at the moment. Try and get an idea of 2nd and 3rd for you. There are a couple of under-23s in this category. Michelle Finn still striding away at the front. Katrina Mullen seems to have overcome whatever issue she was having there that kind of cost her. She moves to the back of that group and seems to be slipping off, and she's getting a bit of a second wind here now with about a kilometre to go for Katrina Mullen there in 2nd place. Michelle Finn nearly about 70 metres in front. Claire Fagan, the under-23 leader at the moment in 3rd place. Sinead O'Connor then working very gamely there in 4th place, and one of the McDonald's is now in front of Nikita Burke. I'll just try and clarify which one it is.
Yeah, Michelle Finn comes through with 800 metres to run. Absolutely full of running there. 14 minutes now on the clock exactly as she goes through, and she's got about a 70 metre advantage, and it is Claire Fagan up to second, passes out Katrina Mullen again, seems to almost want to take the lead when they go into the wind, probably because of the slowing from Katrina Mullen. Claire Fagan does not want this to slow down, takes over in the silver medal position at the moment. Katrina Mullen strikes back and tries to hang on to her. Sinead O'Connor hanging tough there in fourth. May well be that these three divide up the medals, but it's very close behind as well, so wouldn't be surprised to see someone come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, Mullen has come back into the lead again. It's getting quite funny here on these laps. Mullen taking it flying down the back straight and then struggling against the wind on the home straight, and Fagan taking over then on the home straight. So O'Connor's still there as well in that fourth place, the long striding athlete, multiple medalist here at the National Seniors over the last couple of years. Those three athletes are together here now. 600 metres left to run. Michelle Finn, it's almost looks like she's kind of lazily jogging there at the front of this field. She's just tipping away quite comfortably with 500 metres left to run. She's absolutely in a class of her own in this field. And
we've got a bit of a clash of events here coming down to the business end, because Adam McMullen is taking to the runway for what is his last chance to seize this senior men's title. So we'll try and keep an eye on this and update you. Ben Fisher finished third with a best of 7:24. He just completed his last jump, and this is the last chance for the title to be seized from Shane Howard. Adam McMullen of Crusaders on the runway, best of 7:31. He needs 7:44 to improve here. Michelle Finn has just gone through the bell with 400 metres to run. There's about 70 metres back to Claire Fagan now in second with Sinead O'Connor. They've broken clear of Katrina Mullen. Here's McMullen on the runway, extends out.
It looks pretty big. We'll get you
It gets the white flag, so we're going to have to wait that. We'll go back to the 5K though for the moment while that result is being confirmed, because the business end of this is about to be played out. Michelle Finn all on her own. Claire Fagan out in second is moving faster than ever, and they are drawing well away now from Katrina Mullen, about 10-12 metres clear. It's all to play for here for the silver, really.
Yeah, Finn with 200 metres left to run. O'Connor is blown by on the back straight, gone by Claire Fagan, and Katrina Mullen is hanging on gamely there, trying to get up to third place, hoping Claire Fagan will struggle over the last 200 metres. O'Connor is striding away from Fagan here with 200 metres left to run. She's making a yard every couple of metres. She's gaining and getting away from Fagan. Fagan's still trying to hang on for that third place and hope that Mullen doesn't have anything left. 150 metres left to run. Michelle Finn has 80 metres left. She's going to win the national title here, and Sinead Connor, her clubmate, is going to get up for second place, Cathal. With 100 metres left to run, O'Connor comes into the home straight. Fagan trying hard to get up for that bronze medal. Finn is going to win this one. She's going to run 16:37.5 to win this. O'Connor then in second place is going to hang on here and get this silver medal. Fagan then trying as much as she possibly can. O'Connor, leave it, I see Sinead O'Connor getting second place, Claire Fagan in third, Katrina Mullen in fourth. I think it's Eda McDonald in fourth, Nikita Burke in fifth, and Una Britton getting up then for sixth place.
Yeah, great race, that 5K. Really was a dust up those last few laps. You can see the pace increase. And I've news from the long jump. Adam McMullen could only manage 7:04 in that final attempt. I guess his body language told the story when he came out of that pit before we switched back. But that means he will only get the silver medal this year. And it is Shane Howard of Bandon AC, your national and senior men's long jump champion, with a winning jump of 7:44. McMullen second with 7:31. And Ben Fisher third with 7:24.
Yeah, Howard looks like he's making his way down to take that sixth and final jump. An athlete who I believe has switched legs as well.
Oh, interesting.
I think he had not sure what the injury was. Jerry nodding, he knows there was an injury. He's going to go with Achilles. There was an injury on one of the legs, and he swapped leg. And
interesting. He did indeed take his final jump already, but it was a foul.
Ah, yes, I see that now.
And they're dropped like bowling pins here on the
track.
That's the word. That's the word I was thinking of.
Comes before field.
It's like a war zone out there. Bodies everywhere.
Georgina Drum will be out shortly now to poke them off the track
with a socially distanced stick. Ouch.
But yeah, we've got the junior women's 5K. It's going to round out this session now very shortly.
I'll go down at some point and try and grab a word with our senior women's 5,000 metres champion, Michelle Finn. She'll be back for the steeplechase as well.
She certainly will.
Maybe she's doing 3 events, is she?
1,500 perhaps as well, which will be, I think, this evening, isn't it?
It is. We'll soon find out.
Yes.
There was a few attempted handshakes there, and then they backed out and started elbowing each other. Yes, sorry, she is indeed back for the 1500 later.
And
Ambitious triple.
certainly, yeah, it's almost American-esque. That kind of.
The 1500 is astonishingly open this year, though. No Ciara McGeehan, no Schieffer Clary Butner, no Sarah Healy,
Who's in?
no Nadia Power,
Yes, yeah. So certainly an open field. Maybe
no
the year
Katie
to try
Kirk,
it. The year to try it for
Amy
Michelle Finn.
O'Donoghue.
Only
Surely?
would it be the only triple ever? Is even attempted or definitely
Can't
one?
imagine anyone, given it was always
1-2
one
in long
weekend
jump?
event. Ah, yeah, I'm sure someone's done a triple at seniors.
Someone tweet in.
So a bit of a lull in action now. The men's long jump is all done and dusted. And next up on track, as Ronan said, is the junior women's 5,000 metres.
Certainly, and be given the full results from that
There'll be
long jump.
6 athletes in that. Oh, I haven't. I've given the top 3.
Well, so you said there's a lull. There's a lull.
Full results.
Full, all 20 something athletes. No, I'll
Right.
just give you the top 8 there. Shane Howard, 7:44. Adam McMullen, 7:31. Third place was Ben Fisher with 7:24. Fourth place was Luke O'Carroll with 7:17. Second round jump. Fifth place Owen Keenan with a 7:02. Sixth then was Dermot O'Connor with a 6:73. Seventh place was John Nolte, 6:62. Nice one, John. And then Matthew Cahar with a 6:56 then in the end for Matthew Cotter. So there's the full result.
No, well, not the full result.
Well, top 8.
Not the full result. Some of the result. Trying to give us all 18.
No, Ben Fisher was the champion there, under 23 champion in that one. Matthew Cotter, third place there, and nope, second place. Third place, and Owen Keenan then in second place.
Just studying the spikes there, you can see Claire Fagan's wearing the Dragonfly, the bottom of your screen, as worn by Joshua Cheptegei to the world record. So we're
Waiting on the junior women's 5K. It'll be up very shortly. Great
We'll have-
finish in the women's 5K. And session 3 then will be popping up later on. Long day here for the lads from Entry, doing a great job.
they always do.
Yeah. And a family affair, yeah. So later on we're going to have some 400-meter hurdles action as well as some weight for height. And then also some women's 1500 meters and men's 1500 meters and women's hurdles.
Yes, 400 meter hurdles and heats.
Yeah.
Quite looking forward to those.
Certainly, yeah.
Missing Thomas Barr, of course, but
Featuring John Fagan. Have they ever been on the track together at the same time? Maybe there's something in that. Have they?
have certainly, yeah. Thomas Barr was definitely knocking around, and
Varsies 2011 we have confirmed here by Jared
our
O'Donnell.
statistician.
Cheers, Ger. Jared's from the National Union of Track Statisticians.
They're an association. So 4:25 is the start time for the junior women's 5,000 metres. 6 athletes in that: Aoife Coffey, Holly Brennan, Ava Costello, Clara Keane, Celine Gavin and Niamh Mahoney.
Yeah, so quite a small field assembled here in this junior 5K. As you see the women, 5K women getting their medals here. Ger, you missed the medal ceremony around. There is some assembly required. You'll see. I'll let you figure that one out yourself. Georgina just dropping the little packages off.
Yes, just left there for them.
And then she'll make a bit of a gag about it being Christmas, I suspect.
Perhaps we could write a few jokes for her.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Improve the delivery.
Yeah.
Now with the presentation for that last race.
So there is Michelle Finn, centre your shot.
Women,
It's a big old step up there.
It certainly is. Claire Fagan here, third place. And she's also the under 23 champion as well.
Yes.
Getting that
Hopefully
medal
a
out.
a gold and a bronze perhaps there. Which is it? Bronze, surely.
It is the bronze here, and then I'm sure she'll get the gold in the post. Sinead O'Connor.
Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah.
O'Connor from Leavelle.
The announcing.
The winner this year, again from Leavelle, Michelle Finn.
Michelle Finn, yeah. Delighted, yeah. Michelle Finn had pre-assembled her medal straight on.
Officials,
Yeah.
it's okay for you to put your hands together if you want to.
So a bit of a clap here from the officials.
We're allowed clap.
Attendance. And Michelle Finn, whoa, struggling off.
Quite
falling
a
off that.
dismount there.
Yeah, I would give her probably a 6 for
6
that.
at absolute tops.
Yeah, max. You know, she's no Nadia Comaneci, you'll say that. But hopefully, you know, no issues
Applaud the
there.
effort. Applaud the
Yeah,
effort.
absolutely. Yeah. Didn't really stick that one.
In fact, there was no effort. She made no effort there.
No, I'm actually a bit worried about her balance there.
Yes, especially with the 1500 later on.
Yeah.
She's now going to be interviewed by RTE, which you can watch tomorrow night.
Yeah, but you'll be able to watch your interview with her very shortly
Absolutely.
on Twitter.
Or Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
Any Athletics Ireland platform you choose or prefer.
Will they? Are you going to ask her about that dismount?
Certainly.
Yeah. All questions.
Certainly. You wouldn't get that at
questions
RTE.
in.
That's why you have to stick with the hipster option tomorrow evening. And the rest of the
Absolutely.
country is watching
Say no to
RTE2 or perhaps the Champions League final build up. You
And
stay
try
with
all the
us and watch us on YouTube.
What do you reckon? Will we get? How many will we get?
I think we'll get
Let's just
everyone.
start a poll. Have a
They're
poll.
off in the junior women's 5,000 metres. They catch us by surprise by going 4 minutes early. How
Not
dare
good
they?
enough, not
The full
good
lineup from the inside, which is now irrelevant. Aoife Coffey of Lucan Harriers, Holly Brennan of Keeley's,
Achilles AC in Bettystown
Achilles
was our
AC.
club from earlier on that confused us.
Ava Costello of Trim AC, Clara Keane of DMP AC. Sounds like a rap group.
I believe it doubles as a rap group.
Celine Gavin of
Straight out
Celtic
Wexford.
DCH. Celtic?
Celtic.
Yeah, sorry. I always get issues with that. Neve O'Mahony then completes the lineup of Unreact AC.
Yeah, Neva May, I think, has won a couple of Irish schools
We're-
titles there. She's on the outside of your field there.
Yeah,
Very small field.
The forward-leaning athlete. She's turned in some outstanding performances over the cross-country as well to win the schools titles. I remember, I think it was in Clongowes Wood. I believe she absolutely obliterated the field. I think it was the junior race she won that day. Michelle's been interviewed by RTE.
Very clean. On the hallowed Jesuit ground.
Absolutely.
DMP here leading this one. This is Clara Keane here. She's only got maybe about a half-metre lead there on the athletes behind. Neve Manny, you can see the forward lean there on the Henriette athlete in the green and yellow. Achilles AC, Holly Brennan as well at the back of that field. So
Come through the first lap here, 1:24 or so. So nothing too swift here.
certainly not. And
5:40 pace or so per mile.
Neva Manny has already had enough and said, I'm going to the front. We've had the first lap. No one's really taking it on. So I
Kerry
will.
people are tough.
Tough. Maybe she's getting up for some of those Ennis track Hell Week type scenarios. And she's gone, I'm going to the front. Inspired by Darrell Lynch from earlier. Storming to the front here. Dean Casey as well. Our winner of the junior men's race earlier on, by the way, was Michael Morgan from Sligo AC. So you can check those results on live.athleticsIreland.ie. As you come up here with 11 laps to run, it's Neva Manny. And a lot of these girls would run 5,000 metres on the track, so hence the smaller field. You see Holly Brennan there from Achilles AC coming up there on the outside. DMP's Clara Keane there as well, just in second place. The athlete in the blue there is Celine Gavin in third place with the long socks from Celtic DCH. As we see, the senior men's long jump presentation has been taking place here as well. Ben Fisher from City of Lisburn in third place. Adam McMullen is going to be in second, and Shane Howard in first.
Batteries not included.
No, so Georgina hasn't realised that all the athletes are leaving, so she can pull out the same gag. But we've been here all day.
She's making Christmas-related jokes.
It's like in school when the kids leave the school, so you just come up and use the same gag again.
Yeah.
So McMullen, silver medalist here, 7:31, and the winner, Shane Howard, 7:44. Delighted himself, buzzing. Assembles his own medal.
Rises to no applause.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a strange.
Put your hands together for 1, 2, 3 on the roster, please. Thank you.
We got a officials clap there. And it is Shane Howard, 7:44 for the win in that one. Niamh Manny still leading this 5K here, as you can see. DMP's Clara Keane there in second, and Celtic DCH, or Celtic DCH, we always get that
Celtic.
is in third place.
Rangers
Celine Gavin.
DCH, I think.
Rangers, yeah. And the inside then you have the trim AC athlete Ava Costello, and to round out that field we've got Lucan Harriers Aoife Coffey, which I think is in the all red strip. So Niamh Manny, the forward leaning athlete there from Onrecht, has made about a metre on that field. She is favoured for this title here. She's running it the hard way. Still quite a distance to go for these athletes who come up to 1,200 metres there. So lots of running still to come.
Absolutely, yeah. Wind is still blowing a gale here as well, so they're sitting in Indian file, letting the person in front take as much of the heat as possible, take the sting out of it.
Yeah, and Niamh Manny is definitely going to run this the hard way. She's gone to the front after that first lap, and hasn't really poured on the pace, but taking the wind for the athletes behind her. Celine Gavin just there in second place with those long socks, and then you also have Achilles AC Holly Brennan there just on the inside. So all still well in the mix here in this race. The race doesn't really start until around 2k to go. Aoife Coffey there in fourth place. Fifth place Trim AC's Ava Costello, and then in sixth place we have DMP's Clara Keane, who's starting to struggle a little bit, has lost a yard or two on the athletes in front.
I'd imagine in conditions like this as well, Ronan, you'd want to be sticking with the pack as much as you could to get as much protection from that wind as possible and not to be left in no man's land.
I think so, and she has just closed that gap there, the DMP athlete Clara Keane, and just trying to hang on. Possibly it's wind related as well. She seems to have lost the gap on the home straight, which during the windy part, and now has closed it again. Niamh Manny, they're still leading this one. Celine Gavin there just in second place. Holly Brennan then just there in third in the orange strip. So all that is still very much in this one. We're looking at around 8.5 laps left to run. Still plenty to come from these athletes. Just under 6 minutes there for that first mile. So some good running here.
Absolutely, yeah. Shane Howard, the long jump champion, is getting his RT interview done there in the infield. And Cathal Dennehy is catching up with Michelle Finn, which will be on the Athletics Ireland social media channels. He's now catching Shane Howard as well, so keep an eye on the Twitter and possibly Facebook and Instagram as well.
All the major social medias, I believe. You just call it social.
Twitch, maybe Twitch. Socials, I think they're called now, Ronan.
Socials, yeah.
Sock medias.
Sock meds. Niamh Manny is really socking the two of them here, though. She's powering out at the front of this field. And that is Celine Gavin there just on her right shoulder. The short snappy stride of Celine Gavin there on the outside of Niamh Manny. And then just behind her then Lucan Harriers Aoife Coffey has closed that gap there, and she's up with that group. DMP's Clara Keane there has been dropped somewhat. She's may struggle a little bit over these remaining laps, but still very good running for a junior. Even to be attempting 5,000 metres on the track is impressive. And as we said, Ava Costello then and Holly Brennan then rounding out that field.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one now for Clara Keane from DMP. So you can just try and hold on as long as possible, and some of those athletes might start to come back to her as the pace starts to pinch and that wind starts to really batter them down the home straight each time. So as you said, 7.5 laps I think is to go now for
and
girls in this race, and it's going to be hard work the whole way.
I'd be shocked if many of these athletes had ran 5k on the track before. So really, is with 2k to go is when you really see the damage being done. A lot of athletes can hang on for that first 3k, but that final 2k is almost like running another 4k. It's fairly miserable. So some of these athletes may come back towards DMP's Clara Keane then over the remaining laps.
Just an update on our call room as well, Ron, as you were saying earlier, that it was the same as usual. It's not. It's outside, of course, so there's more airflow and all that. So for the athletes that are getting ready to compete tomorrow or are competing next weekend, it's under the white tarp at the end of the main stand. They have sectioned off 5 or 6 different areas for call rooms down there. So you sit out in the cold concrete before your race and get ready to go. but there is areas there there's enough space to do drills and strides and bits and pieces there as well. So it's not all doom and gloom. You probably have more space than you would normally at the end of the indoor track here inside. So that's where you'll be located before you begin your events tomorrow and next Saturday and Sunday.
Very good. Niamh Manny still leading this one out, and a gap group of 5 has made their way away from Clara Keane. Coming around now with 6.5 laps left to run, and this group is still very much together. It'll be an interesting last 5 laps for these athletes. Niamh Manny will be the favourite in this field, but Celine Gavin just there on her right hand shoulder is looking very relaxed at the moment, but all that group very much still in contention. So far we've had some pretty good moments. Shane Howard 7:44, Nicola Tuttle's national youth record. We've seen some really good battles over in the 5k and the heats, some really good battles in the 400 meter races as well in those heats, so some good running.
Yeah, definitely. The 400 meter men's final, I think tomorrow is going to be a very close contest. Possibly Chris O'Donnell is going to streak away with it, since we've seen what good form he's in already this year. He's 2 seconds clear of everyone else in the field on season's best, but if the weather is something like it is today, you never know what could happen. But certainly behind that, if he does take the gold, the other medals are going to be very tightly contested between the other 4 men who got the big cues in those heats. A couple of 48-second performances here as well, so that was good. And we saw Sophie Becker cruise around in heat 1 of the women's 400 to take her spot in tomorrow's final. Grania Moynihan her second fastest in that one, as well as Rachel McCann winning heat 2. So there'll be a close contest there for those 3 women and the others in that final tomorrow as well. So yeah, it was definitely good performances in sprint so far, even in these dodgy conditions, to say the least.
Yeah, big shock as well in the hammer earlier on with Brendan O'Donnell, who was, I believe, focusing on the Northern Irish and Ulster Championships, and didn't think he'd be back really in time for this. Through a 8 meter season's best, 64-62. Adam King then in second, and Simon Gallagher in third. Sean Mockler would have been the pre-throws favourite, the pre-event favourite. 4th place. He only got 1 throw in, 61-47. So lots of action. If you've missed out on it, check out the YouTube and check out live.athletics.ireland.ie. And we've got,
have a look at the Twitter there, as well as our Facebook and Instagram. There's an interview with Brendan O'Donnell on that, talking about that, how shocked I suppose he was to take the title here today, and he was hoping to maybe get a bronze medal or something, but he wasn't really focusing on it at all. He was hoping for the Ulsters in 3 weeks' time to get a big performance out there, but he said he got his gym set up in the garage during lockdown and really got used to getting in there and getting down and dirty in the gym and doing the work that he hasn't probably been doing previously, or that he didn't enjoy doing previously rather, and it's obviously paying huge dividends now for him.
And certainly an impressive performance, and in these conditions you'd imagine that a lot of athletes were expecting maybe to not do as well with maybe a lack of training or lack of training facilities over the last couple of months, but to be fair to all the athletes, still coming out here and performing at the highest level and keeping the mind together over the last couple of months. We see major changes here in this junior women's 5k though, with 3.5 laps left to go. We've got Holly Brennan there from Killy's AC in Bettystown, gone to the front of this field. Our early leader Niamh Manny's gone out, and she's in 4th place. 2nd place there is Celine Gavin from Celtic DCH AC, and 3rd place is Aoife Coffey from Lucan Harriers, and just in that 5th place then is our Trim AC athlete Ava Costello. So there's still Holly Brennan here in the orange front of this field. These 3 look like the likely medalists. They moved away from Niamh Manny. It is Holly Brennan, followed by Celine Gavin, followed by Ava Coffey, my apologies, in 3rd place. So these 3 athletes together now with 4 laps left to run.
It's all to play for. Niamh Mahoney trying her best there to chase.
Yeah, certainly trying to hold on to that group. It's not many of these athletes would have ran 5Ks on the road even, never mind the track, but Holly Brennan is making it look like it's a fairly easy effort here for her, leading out this group of 3 here. They're really starting to run nicely here and starting to accelerate over these last couple of laps. Looking really good here now with just come up towards 3.5 laps to run.
Yeah, it's all to play for. 13:30 on the clock. inside a mile to go. Be a very respectable time in these conditions. As our 5k women file out of the stadium quite fast. Michelle Finn did a runner. I didn't get to speak to her. She ran away.
She's quick.
She's quick.
Quick over the old 5,000 metre distance.
During and after the race, she was quick. But she may be back for the 1,500 metre heats. But you can view a chat with our long jump champion Shane Howard on Athletics Ireland's social media channels if you so desire.
No, I wanted Michelle Finn, and you
Stop
didn't provide it.
highlighting my failure. She ran away.
Why weren't you? Were pretty quick back in your day. Have you lost it, have you?
Absolutely. Never had it.
Holly Brennan here, still leading this one, the Achilles AC athlete. Coming up now with 3 laps left to run.
Celine Gavin right behind though.
And Aoife Coffey then working hard there, driving those arms from Luke and Harrier's AC.
It's about a 70 metre deficit then back to Niamh O'Mahony.
Yeah, and Ava Costello then from Trim AC then in 5th place. And DMP's Clara Keane then is still working hard there in 6th place.
We have a move.
Yeah, that's Aoife Coffey there from Luke and Harrier's there. She's gone into the lead. We're coming up there. It'll be 2.5 lap left to run, so a kilometre left for these girls. Holly Brennan there is taking close order, and Celine Gavin with that short, snappy stride. The tall athlete there is holding on in 3rd place.
Yeah, she's tucking in there. The wind is very much behind them now. It's kicked up again down that back straight, so it'll feel like cruise control as they go down there, but it'll get very tough when they turn around and face this. And it's all to play for. The waiting game is slowly playing out here.
Yeah, they're coming around the corner here now. It's going to be 900 metres left to run for Aoife Coffey, Holly Brennan and Celine Gavin. So it's going to be a serious battle here. There's no real indications as to who has this in their locker. Nothing really to go off in terms of personal best times over this distance, which would be new to these girls. Aoife Coffey leading up the home straight. Holly Brennan there in 2nd place and Celine Gavin then in 3rd. Who is going to be? Who is the medalist? Who is going to win the gold medal? Who's going to be the champion here? National Junior 5,000 metre champion.
Yeah, 2 laps to run, 15:44 on the clock as they go through. Aoife Coffey holding that inside line, running the shortest distance, but perhaps Celine Gavin there back in 3rd is really just, I suppose, running most efficiently at the moment because she's tucked in lane 1. As she does that, she moves to the outside of lane 1, perhaps ready to move, but she's been able to draft there for a good few laps and not have to run into the wind as we see the move there from Holly Brennan.
Holly Brennan and Celine Gavin have gone by. Aoife Coffey now down the back straight. This is going to be 600 metres left to run when they come up here at the end of the straight. Celine Gavin and Holly Brennan now have gone round Aoife Coffey. Aoife Coffey looks like she's striding, still striding out quite well, but Holly Brennan definitely looking the most comfortable of the 3. The leader here with 600 metres left to row. The girl in the orange vest, Holly Brennan, Celine Gavin then the blue with the long socks, and Aoife Coffey then in 3rd place.
Yeah, it really is all to play for here. Who's going to strike first? It looks like Celine Gavin is just waiting there almost. She's just stalking Holly Brennan on that outer lane, ready to move at any moment. She's very much the shorter striding of the 2 athletes, even though she's probably a little taller. But they are pretty much, I think, fighting for the lead here. I would wager that there aren't many more gears left here. You can see they're starting to struggle, which is only fully understandable after 11.5 laps of hard running into the teeth of this wind. Now they are possibly just pulling a little bit clear of Aoife Coffey. She may be on her last gear at the moment. And now, as soon as the bell hits, there is the big move from Holly Brennan, and it looks decisive running.
Yeah, rejuvenation there over those couple of metres by the bell from Holly Brennan, and she's got 350 metres left to run, but she hasn't dropped Celine Gavin yet. Celine Gavin is starting to rally here, and Celine Gavin looks like she's going to try and go by down the back straight. Aoife Coffey is done in 3rd. It's Celine Gavin and Holly Brennan up the back straight. Holly Brennan responds again, makes another couple of metres, almost looks Michelle Finn like there in her stride as she strides away from Celine Gavin, and it looks decisive now with almost 200 metres left to run. Holly Brennan here with 200 metres left, Celine Gavin in 2nd, and Aoife Coffey in 3rd.
And scrap what I said about there being no more gears, because Holly Brennan has showed a vast range of gears here over this final 400. What a turn of pace this is. She went with 400 to go. She had company from Celine Gavin up that back straight. Celine Gavin digging in for all she was worth to try and hang with this. But Holly Brennan, this is an irresistible turn of pace here over the final 400. And she stepped it up again. She's into the teeth of a strong headwind here up the home straight. And she's running faster than ever. That head going from side to side slightly with the fatigue. It's completely understandable. She is going to be crowned the Irish under 20 5,000 metres champion. What a run from Holly Brennan of Achilles AC. 2nd place, great run too by Celine Gavin.
Yeah, the 2 of those athletes under 18:30 there, as well as Aoife Coffey makes her way up towards the line here. A very strong performance from Aoife Coffey from Luke and Harrier's AC. His athletes are down on the track. Holly Brennan celebrating by assaulting the track there. Absolutely delighted with herself. So absolutely thrilled. As you see, coming into the home straight here now, we've got the athlete from Trim AC, which is Ava Costello there, entering the home straight. Behind her then Niamh Manny Von Wraith, the early leader. And our athlete with 300 metres left is DMP's Clara Keane.
Yeah, great run. Low on quantity, but high on quality, that junior women's on 5,000 metres.
Certainly, when you think that obviously 18 minutes there, 18:11 I think it was in the end. Very, very strong performance from Holly Brennan. Here's Niamh Manny coming up towards the finish line, just finishing behind Ava Costello from Trim AC. So 5th place goes to Niamh Manny. We've got Clara Keane then with about 200 metres left to run from DMP AC. Might just give you the final times from the senior women, 5,000 metres. Michelle Finn 16:37, Shane O'Connor then 16:47. Just both of Leavelle. Claire Fagan then the under 23 champion ran 16:48, back to 16:50 and 16:52 from Katrina Mullen and Ida McDonald. The second place athlete in the under 23 category was Sarah Kelly from Inishowen, and the third place athlete was Ruth Heary, who ran 17:49 from Waterford AC.
Great stuff. And that concludes session 2.
Yeah, we
Almost.
see Clara Keane here finishing now with 50 metres left to run, the DMP athlete. Getting up to the finish line here. Great performance from her over a distance that I'm sure she has not ran on the track before. As most of these
in
girls
these
wouldn't
wins, it will feel like about 7,000 metres rather than 5,000 metres, especially when you're on your own. So fair play. And they will have a medal presentation upcoming. We'll bring you that. They deserve their moment of glory, our 3 medalists, before signing off before session 3. Session 3, I think, gets going at 6:30 p.m. this evening.
Yeah, you may want to leave at 5:30 to cook dinners. What?
Less of that.
No, we all may want to leave early due to our.
I believe the
lateness.
first heat of. I believe that the
Yes.
first heat of the women's 400 metres went uncommentated upon.
Look, there were some minor issues, Kyle.
Logistics. It's a long way, to be fair, you had to come.
Yeah, we can practically see the house. I think that's the issue.
I've just got confirmation that Michelle Finn will be lining out in the 1,500 metre heats later.
And when are you
From
going
her
to ask her
coach.
about that dismount?
Oh yeah, well she ran away perhaps out of embarrassment, didn't want to be asked about it, so
Yeah.
I'll have to postpone the interview till after the 1,500 metre heats, which is only fair. No need to be delaying her cool down back to
No.
her house, which
Questions
is up the road.
need to be asked.
They do. Terrible dismount it was.
But answers are going to be given here, and the answer to the question is, who are our medalists in the women's, under 20 junior final?
Aoife Coffey was 3rd from
Lucan Harriers AC. And we had
Celtic DCH's Celine Gavin finished 2nd with
Yeah.
a very strong run. But
and
the
that
strong-est of
rapid
all,
turn of
muy
pace.
rapido.
Muy rapido over that last lap. Holly Brennan with multiple gears. It's like a 15-speed bicycle.
It was.
Gears kept coming there.
And she saved our blushes with the pronunciation there just to define Killy's AC.
Achilles AC, yeah. And
Holly Brennan, well done.
most difficult
Brilliant
task today
run.
was to actually take that medal out under the current guidelines.
11.5 laps of fighting and 1 lap of fast.
Yes, very, very impressive.
Straight
finish
up
from Holly
fast over that last 400 metres. Well done, Holly Brennan. And indeed, Celine Gavin and Aoife Coffey are medalists in the under 20 women's 5,000 metres. And that will do it for now. We're all wrapped up here in Morton Stadium until 6:30 p.m. and we'll have the heats of the men's 400 metre hurdles, then we'll have the women's 400 metre hurdles, then we'll have both 1,500 metre heats, men's and women's, and we'll also have all the weight for height. Just the men's weight for height. I believe only the men do that, do they?
No,
I
I think the women do it as well.
All right, forget it, what I was saying. Anyway,
I don't know.
we have the weight for height finals coming out. They'll be lifting different weights depending on the juniors and seniors, etc. But so we have field and track action and plenty of it coming up between 6:30 and 8 p.m. later on. So please join us then, and there'll be a different link which you'll find at Athletics Ireland's Twitter, Facebook, all those places.
major social
and you'll
medias.
find, just click session 3 for the stream. We'll see you then.
Cheers.